Yeah, right. So, like, do I get a memorial show? Do I get? Am I thick enough for that? Or let me ask you this, Jason, do you do you have? I'm totally in this mood right now. By the way, do you call the voice guy and ask for some emergency voice work where it's like Sactown, Sactown Sports 1140 mourns the loss of Carmichael Dave, and throughout the week we'll be playing best of for and by the way, hey, listen, just message to everybody because people don't plan on this stuff, and I want it planned out. I want a Google Doc and the whole thing. If that happens, someone set up a GoFundMe for my kids' college fund. That's all. That's all I want. Don't worry about my wife. She's got a job. Just do the college fund. What, Chris?
You're on the plane solo tomorrow?
Oh God, that's right. Okay, never mind. I take it all back. I keep thinking I'm on the plane solo. All right, I don't want to mess with that karma. If there's other people, if there's God, now I got to fly my wife and kids back separately. I guess that's got dark, Chris.
Expensive trip.
Well, I guess just do a GoFundMe for. I want King's
for Gus.
Yeah,
I want yes. Someone's got to take Gus.
That's interesting that this made it dark.
Well, it's one thing if it's me. It's another thing if it's my family involved.
But if it's just you and a bunch of strangers,
yeah,
that's
okay.
Fine. I don't care about them. I mean, I care.
How much time should we give them?
The strangers? Yeah, because it's not like you can't name off all the other people on the plane. That would be like a 20-minute promo. Maybe do like a scrolly thing on YouTube with the names, but let's call it Carmichael Dave and Friends. We mourn Carmichael Dave and Friends. And then what's the old joke? Put me in a King's logoed casket so they can let me down one last time. I want G-Man doing the eulogy. 100% want G-Man doing the eulogy. I know that's putting a lot on him because now he kind of has to do it out of guilt. But I feel like he'd come prepped. And then, I don't know. How do we memorialize? You know what? I don't want anything. Just give me I've said this before. Just name a popcorn stand after me. That doesn't cost them anything. They got to get like a little nameplate.
Carmichael Corn?
Carmichael
Corn?
Yeah, just no. No, Jason. Now you're making light of me dying. Let's call it the Carmichael Dave Memorial Popcorn Stand. Something, that's kind of official sounding.
I'm attempting to dazzle Dave.
It has to be the one with the butter. Don't give me the garbage one where there's no movie theater butter. I want the one with the butter. You know what? Screw it. Just name the butter after. Just Carmichael Dave Memorial Butter Dispenser. I'll take that. That's all I need. I don't need a media entrance. Jerry's got that. I don't need a media room. I've never been in it. Give me just give me that. That's it. If that happens tonight, because that's kind of how it felt last night watching that game. Honestly, that's I think that's why that's in my head. It's what it felt like. It's just this thing's a roller coaster. Jason, this is a roller coaster we're in right now.
I don't like roller coasters.
I don't either. We used to go to Great America when I was a kid. Marriott's Great America. Say what's up to Bugs Bunny, and all the other,
Wait, what?
It used to be Marriott's Great America. They used to have Looney Tunes characters. Is this news to you?
I had no idea.
Let me tell you something. There's a whole. I got a deep tie here because, as you probably know, because you worked with me long enough, I was a 3-month preemie. I was born dead. I was flown to the Shriners Hospital in Oakland, and they had like a deal with Great America where the Great America mascots would come in and hang out with all the sick kids. And so we would have till I was like 10 years old, we'd go there yearly for the, I don't know what you call it. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but I was part of it, so I can do it. It was like I don't know what you call it, like the graduated, recovered, sick kids reunion, and the doctors would get a chance to see the kids they worked on, and so we'd go back and they'd have food and Bugs Bunny and Tweety Bird, Sylvester. Sylvester was always there, and you'd hang out with the Looney Tunes, and then you get passes to Great America, and you go on the Demon and the Edge and the Tidal Wave. Remember the Tidal Wave? Anyone?
The Grizzly.
The Grizzly. Tidal Wave was jacked, man, because all it was is you go, like, the roller coaster goes backwards all the way up into the sky, right? It just goes click, 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 click all the way up into the sky, okay? And then it pauses at the top, and then it lets go, and you go down and you go through loop-de-loop, right? And then you go all the way up on the other side, okay? And they pause. And then you go backwards through the loop-de-loop, and then you kind of settle. I feel it was the precursor to, do they still have the Revolution, the pirate ship that goes upside down?
I don't know.
No?
Is it still open?
I thought it was.
Tidal Wave was like the underrated ride, though, because no one would go on it. It would just stay on it for like 10 times in a row.
Well, those are the best times. When you can just, if you're at an amusement park and you can just repeat, if they're just like, hey, if you want to stay on, go for it, then it's cool, because the best part of a roller coaster, Jason, I think you'll agree with me. Best part of the roller coaster is when you're slowing down and pulling in at the end. You're like, I made it. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, usually there's a pretty good rush. Like, I mean, I admit, if you...
The best part of the roller coaster is the end of it when you're okay.
Yeah, you're relieved. The best part, the worst parts of the roller coaster are the following.
The main part.
The wait in line, worst part, because all you're doing is watching people scream bloody murder and thinking about the things that could happen. The second worst part, maybe the worst, I'll take arguments on this as the worst part, is the clickety click, 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 where you're climbing. And you're just like, dude, why am I doing this? Click, click, click. Then the middle parts are all kind of a blur because you're just trying not to have a heart attack. And then when you're done, you're like, wow, that was quick. That was great. I'm brave. I could do this again. I just don't want to wait in line.
I'm brave.
I'm brave. I did it.
Brave.
Ryan's in the chat. I guess I won't make an effort to catch the openings of the show anymore since they're so depressing and mostly about death. Not true. About the death part. Well, that's what happens after games. What do you want? You lose at home to Charlotte. They've lost 11 in a row. It's like a little party dies inside. You want us to come in? And you want me to? We're gonna have Katie on at 8. Can't wait to hear her flip this.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Not in the mood for that. I'm not in the mood for that. I'm gonna push back. I'm pushing back on Katie today. She's not easy to push back on. She's tall. Oh, tall center of gravity.
Set the screen.
I'm pushing back on her. I don't want to hear it. Oh, you know these things. Well, I don't know, Jason. Are we getting that from you today?
We're not there yet, Dave. I'm into death right now.
Okay, all right. I want to hear well, what happens? I mean, hey, look, to each his own. Who am I to tell who how to analyze? But just garbage, soft, peed down their leg again, and then we got to talk about it. Yes, Jason. I watched on TV. We had better angles because I know you're up there in the middle thingy. But there was urine on the floor.
Is that what it was?
You didn't see them having to mop up.
That's why you lost the ball.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what Malik Monk was yelling at Mike Brown in the huddle, where he said, there's pee on the floor. I think that I read lips. There was pee down the leg. And we've got audio from De'Aaron today who's like, well, I'm going to forget this as soon as I walk out. I'm not one to ever tell an athlete how they should feel. I'm just curious how people feel about that. Like, if De'Aaron wants to let it go and move on, great. Because what's the alternative? He comes in today and he's like, oh, we lost. I don't know about this game against Orlando. We lost to Charlotte, and I think that maybe we'll lose again. I don't want that. I want somebody to throw something, Jason.
No jumping in the pool last night. Was there an angry jump in the pool?
No, but I opted out of that stupid Hunger Games movie everybody went to. And I was like, hey, they got the tickets. They started at 8:30. We played golf yesterday, so I didn't get a nap. I was sleepy. And I said, I got to do my job and actually watch this game. And part of me is like, why do I have to watch the game? They're gonna kick butt, I'm sure. Nice 25-point win. I'll just box score it. Watch.
Sounds like you should have went to the game, went to the movie.
It would have been more entertaining than what we saw. The whole game was like, okay, that was my theme. That was my theme to the game. Okay, are you going to start playing now? Good. Why, Harrison? Hello, Kevin? Malik? Anyone? That's not Jason. Is this one of those times where you just kind of hang out and let me go psycho? I'm starting to feel a little self-conscious, like I'm just a rambling psychotic right now.
Okay, weirdo, party of one.
I don't know what to do. How about take a break? Should I take a break? I'm staring at you, Jason. I don't know what to do. You're making me feel very uncomfortable. How are you this morning?
You broke him.
I think I did.
The Hornets broke Jason Ross.
Jason looks like this is the same look. Okay, don't change it yet, Jason. This is the same look that Jack Nicholson had in The Shining, where he's just staring into the camera right before he goes after Wendy. Are you going after Wendy today, Jason? Is this the day? Here's Jason. We'll take a break. We'll try to gather everything up. Sorry, Ryan, for depressing you. Look, hey, we're all in it together. It's Kingsaholics Anonymous episode. Who the hell cares? There's been way too many of them. We got Jim Les on the program today. We're going to talk UC Davis basketball, but I'm telling you, we got to ask him. He's a coach. We got to ask him what is going on here. What do you do with these guys? What is happening with these people? And then we're going to have no excuses, Katie, on today. No excuse. We're not letting her have any excuses. I don't want to hear. I don't want. And between now and then, here's what I'd like us all to do. Let's all work together to come up with an excuse bingo card. And if Katie says any of them when she comes on, I'm totally setting up my best friend here, but I don't care. If she says any of them, Chris, we have to come up with a sounder. And then, I don't know, I'll donate something to charity. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, like, I don't know. You got to do something, right? Like, I want, like, the card to be like, okay, obviously the first one is going to be first game back from a road trip. It's pretty tough. You got the family. You know, it's a long road trip. You were gone for the holidays.
Is that your Katie?
No, my Katie is like, first game back from the road trip. She always hates when I do first game back from the road trip. When she tries to make a point, she gets very bassy. First game back from a road trip. Gotta hang out with the family. It's tough. I don't want any of that. What would be the other one? Oh, when guys are out, other guys step up. It's their chance to shine. Everyone's going to have an off night. These things happen. It's the NBA, 82 games a year. Like I just gave 6. So I will take your bingo card of excuses at 1-800-920-1140 if you want to call in, but that'd be weird. You can text us at 916-339-1140, or you can get on the YouTube chat and get into that hellhole today with all of our friends. It is the Kings are stupid Wednesday, whatever the hell today is. That's Jason Ross. I'm Carmichael Dave. Chris Rolad back in the studio. We'll be right back with leading off on your home of the mentally soft Kings. Sports 1140 KHDK, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Now they need a defensive stop. Martin on the right wing, uncovered, backdoor cut for the lead. Washington with the flush. Kings trail 105-104. Lead change number 13. Now a sense of desperation among fans. Ball knocked away from Fox. Turnover. Run to the rim. Cody Martin scores, and it's 107-104. 42 seconds to go as the Kings take timeout. A 20-turnover ball game, costing the Kings a possible win on the home floor to start this busy week.
Well, spoiler alert, G-Man. Love you. You had to watch the whole thing, as did you, Jason Ross. The Kings lost, and they lost in front of their home floor, and they lost to Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges, who combined for 61 points. And we I'm not going to say we called it because nobody look. Let's not do that. Nobody predicted that the Kings would lose tonight, but the fact that we spent the better part of 2 segments having fun, air quotes, with calling this the Walodi, the worst loss of the year. The fact that we even did that, I think, kind of speaks to the mindset of the fan base. And as it turns out, Jason, 1,300 votes and 78%. So we moved it down from a high of 81, but 78% of the Kings fan base said that last night would be the worst loss of the year. I think the only good news I can provide for you is this, other than, obviously the last game, if they make the playoffs, that they lose is going to be the worst loss of the year emotionally. But I think there might be only one opportunity for a worst loss of the year. Actually, there will be 2 probably. Road against Detroit next week. You've got an opportunity to perhaps beat this worst loss of the year and make this a weekly segment. And then I'd like to think, or hate to think, that a home loss to Detroit would be the only thing that could top a road loss to Detroit. Bottom line, 111-104. The Hornets outscore the Kings by 12 in the second half, 10 in the fourth quarter. I don't have any excuses. I don't have any reasons, Jason. Give us an explanation, please?
I can't.
Yeah.
I spent most of the game, because we were doing the Walodi all day yesterday. And in all candor and all honesty, I thought the Kings were going to win all the way up to the end. As bad as they were, as dumb as they played, they deserved what they got. But I'm like, you know what? They're going to win. And I'm sitting there going, okay, worst performance. I was like doing all these different, what are those called? Like the Walodi is a what? Not an anagram.
Acronym?
Acronym, thank you.
Yeah.
So I was writing all these things down, like worst performance, and then I was doing of the year. I go, oh wait, it's really the season because now we're doing semantics. I'm like, of course it's the worst loss of the year if we're doing 2024. But I was like spending minutes on that, going, all right. I just thought at the end they'd kick one in and win, and just go, God, what a terrible game, but just get out of here with a win. And they got exactly what they deserved. They were awful last night. Like, these other games when they've lost that we've called the Walodi or the worst performance or worst loss. Like, I just thought they did everything wrong. Everything. Like, they didn't play smart. They obviously turned the ball over. Nobody was very good. It looked like they had some infighting. It was like, what? I just felt like nothing was right. Nothing. And they deserved it, which stinks.
I 100% agree with you. They deserved to lose, and Charlotte deserved to win. Mm-hmm. Throw the records out.
And Charlotte wasn't good. I don't even want to go, well, you got to give them credit. Like, sure. I guess they get credit for winning and being in an 11-game losing. But I didn't look at them and go, man, they're denying the Kings all these opportunities. They weren't very good. They were so beatable.
They were, and they won 3 of 4 quarters. The only quarter the Kings won was 29-20 in the second.
How do the Kings not have one 30-point quarter against one of the worst defenses in the league? Like, the Kings get 40-point quarters.
So here's the thing. We don't do a lot of, we do hyperbole for fun on the show, and usually we just make fun of people that do hyperbole on morning shows, but I need people to talk me out of the following. We have Overreaction Tuesday, Jason. If I was to do a Kings Overreaction Wednesday and I was to say, and by the way, this isn't the first time this has been brought up, the Sacramento Kings are mentally soft. They're undisciplined. They're soft as a team, and they need a shakeup. Is that an overreaction?
Yes, but not last night. Like, I think to say that as a blanket statement isn't true. But I can't argue off you of that last night. Like, if last night was a 1-game sample, of course. But what's also weird about it is, I think, and I'm going to quote the people that are involved, Mike Brown thought it was the best game they played the other night against Memphis. So the next game is this. It just that doesn't make sense. Now that leads to being like, they just couldn't get out of their own way last night. But I saw a team that rallied against Atlanta and beat Memphis, so those are good. We can find plenty of things that they've done well that wouldn't lean towards this. But last night, I can't tell you that they weren't that.
Well, we're going to talk about it a lot, Jason, today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it quite a bit. I'm tempted to just, oh God, I have so many thoughts on this team and why this is turning into the most dislikable Kings team in a long time for me. And I'll explain that. Like, if you're going, what? How is that? No, let me get to that, because I'm really starting to actually not like this team that I love so dearly. And I'll explain why in a little bit. In the meantime, cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
This just into SportsCenter. Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper has been fined $300,000 for what the NFL called unacceptable conduct during Sunday's game at Jacksonville. You're watching it. He was caught on tape throwing a drink at fans at the end of Carolina's 26-0 loss that dropped the team to 2-14. Bears mentioning he's worth over $20 billion.
Yeah, so the Carolina owner, who is an absolute dumpster fire since he took over the team anyways. He really is an absolute dumpster fire. That team has done nothing but make poor decisions since he took over. And they're in Jacksonville. They're in Jacksonville. They get absolutely demolished. And you see video of him just kind of flinging a drink on a Jags fan that, look, was probably being obnoxious. I didn't see much on the tape, but either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was mooning David Tepper. You don't throw a drink on the guy. He was fined $300,000. The math on that, ladies and gentlemen, based on David Tepper's net worth of $20.6 billion, he was fined the equivalent of $1.77. Like, well, why doesn't the NFL, these numbers are readily available. It's quick math. Why doesn't the NFL look at that and say, okay, we want to find the guy, whatever the equivalent is, of 50 grand. So right. if this was, let's call it $1 just for easy math. Let's see if we can do this on the fly. If you were to do that times 50, that would be what, $15 million? So I guess in order to really make it hurt, find the guy $150 million. Give it to charity.
Yeah.
Right? Do something. But you can't be throwing drinks, Jason. You learned that lesson a few years ago.
Yeah, and sometimes I need to be reminded.
And you were actually fined $1.77.
I was.
Cut number 3.
And I refused to do it.
Yeah, you didn't pay it. That's true. Cut number 3, please.
Cut number 3.
Different from Pritchard or Derek White. Shea passes over to Holmgren. Holmgren loads up another three, and that one rattles in.
Hey, look. Hey, it's a young team that doesn't know any better, and they actually showed up against the Celtics at home, 127-104. 123 the final. Shai Gilgeous Alexander. The Celtics were taking turns trying to guard him. That didn't work out. 36 points for him. Josh Giddey, 23, 8, and 6. And Chet Holmgren, 14, 3, and 7 assists to go with the 4 blocks. 127, 123, Jason. The Thunder looking good.
Looking very good. I was looking at their schedule, what they've done. Obviously, we know the Kings have beaten them twice. But if we just took their losses, so I would think if we were doing OKC radio, we'd go, man, okay, they've lost to Denver, New Orleans, Golden State, Sacramento twice, Philly, Minnesota, Houston, LA, Lakers. Nothing on there that you go, I guess the Lakers would be the team with the worst record of the group.
Sure, but you're losing to LeBron and AD.
Right. But then I also go, wait, you've beaten Denver twice as well. You just beat Boston. You have beaten Minnesota. You've beaten Dallas in there. You've beaten Minnesota, let me see, just once. But yeah, they've got a really good 2 wins against Golden State already. 3 actually, 3 and 1 against Golden State. Yeah, they got a really good thing going right now. They've won 5 in a row, and they've got to feel great right now.
Yeah, they don't crumble in the moment. It's weird. And they're the young team. They're the team that doesn't have the veteran leadership. I mean, you're what is Lou Dort, I think, the veteran leader. You got a bunch of guys. I think their starting lineups average age is probably like 23, 22 years old, if that. They don't know any better. They've never been there before. They've got all the excuses in the world. Yet here they are at 23 and 9. I understand it's a long season. I understand that at the end of the year, the Kings could have 50, 55 wins and be a second, third round. I understand all of that. But right now, I look at the Thunder, even though the Kings have beat them twice, and I look at a team that doesn't read its own clippings, doesn't believe the hype on itself, and they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and they lose to the teams that are tough. I can live with that. Mm-hmm. What's tough to live with is when you just decide to go on cruise control in front of your fans or on the road, wherever it may be. There is the old fun quote. Amin Al-Hassan said years ago, we still have fun with that. Ja Morant is who De'Aaron Fox thinks he is. And we all, jumped on that. And well, it's almost like the Oklahoma City Thunder are who the Kings think they are, or something like that, or the Celtics are who, that actually, I can play with that quote a little bit because that's what we got last night. And I want this team to be pissed, and I want people to be pissed off at this team. Expectations go up, and we all have a job to do. And as fans, our job is to try to hold the team as accountable as possible. Not that they necessarily care. I wouldn't blame them, but at some point you can't just be like, well, they tried. So we're going to talk about that throughout the day. When we come back, Jason's got the mouse and the clicky. We're going to go through the audio. Yes, we all have to do it together. So just take some Pepto during the break and come back. And yeah, you have to come back. And yes, you have to listen to the audio with the rest of us as the Kings embarrassed themselves last night in front of their home crowd right here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Let's check in on the chat line. So far, Keegan Murray needs to be traded. And if you're not into trading Keegan Murray, then what's wrong with you? So you got to trade him. I did have a guy on my timeline yesterday that actually, it's the first one I've seen all year, but it was, can we end the De'Aaron Fox experiment? So there's that. Trade him. It's De'Aaron's fault. David on the chat line, we're talking to him. He's very angry at the broadcasters, specifically Mark Jones. So we're now blaming broadcasters for this.
That's me.
Yeah, you too, Jason.
Okay.
And
thanks, David.
So it's the broadcasters' fault. They need to we need to hold them accountable for things. And we are working through our I'm keeping a running tally, everybody, of excuses. So far we have the following. We're making our excuses bingo card. First game back from a road trip. When other players are injured, others step up to the opportunity. Still adjusting to the new starting lineup. Can't win them all. Losses like this will happen. It's the holidays. And hey, they could be out of the playoffs. They have a great record. So, I mean, that's a good 10.
Is the last one an excuse and can't win them all an excuse? I know where we're going. Just stuff to say to soften the blow.
It's like I guess I could adjust it to a bingo card of excuses / justifications.
Okay.
Ways to spin. We can make that's what we'll call it, a spin card.
Okay.
That's a blanket for excuses, for ways to justify it, for I really am not accepting anything so far other than they suck and they're being lame because they don't suck. You have audio, by the way.
I do, and last night this audio will help back up at least last night's performance. So they got off to a decent start, at one point led by 10, but Dave, by the end of the quarter, here come the Hornets.
Ish Smith to put it in play from the near sideline. One ball fake, then throws on top to the logo. Rozier holding it for the moment. Gets the screen from Washington. Steps to his left. Rocks, fires for three. In, out, and in. 3.7 seconds to go. Rozier gives Charlotte a 4-point lead.
Yeah, Charlotte actually led after one. The end of the first quarter, where this reminded me of Portland, just this part was the only part that did, was the Portland game. Sabonis, I think, had 10 points in the paint in like 2 minutes. I mean, it's like, oh, man, this is just annihilate them in the paint and blow them away. And I think the Kings only led by 1 after the first quarter. And I was like, oh, this is a trouble sign. Last night, a 17-3 run, Dave, by Charlotte. 17-3 to end the quarter, had them up 4. And I still didn't think the Kings were going to lose at that point. But I'm like, why is this already a game? Why is this already happening? Was my thought at that point.
17-3.
Yeah. And if you go to the end of the first quarter and the end of the game, the run by that Charlotte team was 27-3 because it was 10-0 to end the game. Inexcusable. Let's go to the second where, all right, the Kings were trying to get the lead at least going into half, and they would, thanks to a better quarter by De'Aaron Fox.
42-40, transition 3, Fox. There it is. He continues his three-point shooting streak of now 29 consecutive games. He had missed his first 4 attempts from downtown. So the Kings have a 5-point lead at 45-40, and there's a little bit of new life amongst the Kings fans who were snoring just moments ago.
They might have been doing more than that. But even then, I don't know how you felt at half. I'm like, all right, that was awful. But 45-40, I don't know why this is close, but okay, just have a good third and put them away.
I felt at the half like I think a lot of other Kings fans felt at the half. And this is why anytime anyone brings up like Kings fan PTSD or, you got to think positive. The worst part of the worst teams to root for are ones that you can't trust. And that goes either way.
Yeah.
Like even the bad teams, I can trust them to lose. I know what's going to happen. I'm prepared for it. And then when they win, hey, it's a pleasant surprise. The good teams, well, I can trust them generally. I mean, there's going to be a stinker here and there, but I can trust them generally to show up and do their thing. And it would take something pretty significant for something like last night to happen. That's why this team is simultaneously, it's my favorite team since 2002. It is. It's and that's not just the success, but it's also the people on the team. We love De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. Malik Monk's a great character. Kevin Huerter we had on last year. He's an awesome dude. Harrison Barnes, like they're very likable players. And then on top of that, they're successful. But I'm really beginning to not like this team at all because it's one thing, Jason, we've all been through these terrible years. It's one thing where you're sad about losing. You don't like losing, but you go, they're just not good. Like, I get it. They're just not good. Let's blame the GM. Let's blame ownership. Like you can't make chicken salad out of, what?
Yeah.
With this though.
And that's what's hard to believe, Dave, because I'm with you. Like the team that everybody fell in love. This is the bones of that same team. It's not like the roster turnover is dramatic to change the feel of the team, but the way they're playing has done it.
That's the thing. Like what are we talking about here? Terrence Davis. Who else do we
Rashawn
have?
Holmes.
Rashawn Holmes. Like no disrespect to them. And yes, there are times where we could use a Terrence Davis. Don't get me wrong.
Right. But those guys weren't the key pieces. It's the same group for the most part, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same group.
The problem is this. De'Aaron Fox has elevated his game.
Mm-hmm.
Domantas Sabonis is having as good or a better year despite the turnovers last night. He's having as good or better a year as we could imagine. Keegan, the problem is, and Malik Monk's having a great year.
Exactly.
The problem is everyone else on the team is, including Keegan Murray, is either on the side of a milk carton or you score 47 points. Like, Harrison Barnes is borderline unplayable right now. I don't know what look. I'm tired of saying we love Harrison Barnes. Like I almost feel like it's getting to the point where we're insulting him. Like I think Harrison Barnes has the pride of a veteran NBA champion to where he doesn't want people saying, "Well, he's nice guys." Like I'm done saying that. We all know Harrison is awesome, but he's like borderline. when you look at box scores from last night, or you look at box scores in general, there's just too many of these where it's like, dude, what are you doing on the floor? And I'm even allowing for like, okay, well, is he doing like the little defensive things? Well, they don't call plays for him. Well, I'm pretty sure they don't call plays for Chris Duarte, whose offense isn't exactly Jordan-esque, and he still had 12 points last night. Harrison Barnes is 1 of 2 with 3 points, 2 steals, a rebound, an assist, and a turnover. Jason, in 24 minutes last night, Harrison Barnes scored 3 more points than Gary Gerald.
Yeah. Well, and there's always this thing like, I could have done that. I feel like, and I'm not, believe me, I get
it.
But honestly, Dave, if you played 24 minutes, I'm not saying you even score, but the ball might have gone to you for a rebound.
I'm getting a rebound.
It might have. You might have had 0, but you also might have had 4.
I will tell you this. I will 100% in 24 minutes have an assist.
Okay.
100%. I would bet money on it because all I'm doing, unless they froze me out. But if I'm getting the ball at that rate, I will get an assist.
Who's freezing you out?
Well, I'm just saying they'd be smart to put me in a corner and hide me. You're playing 4-on-5, and I'm good for 6 fouls and a warm body. But damn it, I'm getting an assist, dude. And at some point, some ball is gonna just bounce weird off the backboard and land in my hands, and I'm gonna grasp onto it with my arms, and and then probably do nothing and just start jumping up and down because I got a rebound in the NBA.
And then punt the ball into the second deck.
Right. It's just and here's another thing that I don't think there should be. Well, I think there's 3 sacred cows. Not that Fox and Sabonis and Monk couldn't play better and do, not that they don't make mistakes, but I'm not trying to bring them up as issues. Like, they're not the issue. Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, Davion Mitchell, Keegan Murray's inconsistency. 37 minutes last night, he's 4-12, and he's got these roller coasters. We also need to. There is no sacred cows when it comes to coaching either.
Right.
We have to talk about Mike Brown. We have to talk about this coaching staff because part of their job, Jason, is being psychologists.
Yeah, and so look, the team didn't play well, but they're the ones that get them ready, or hopefully get them ready. The game plan, the scheme, whatever. They do control who plays. I found it. If you would agree, like if we say the best players this year on the team in whatever order, and it's probably this order: Fox, Sabonis, Monk. Is that fair?
Yes.
Then I would need a really good explanation as to why your third best player, if we put Monk 3, plays 5 minutes in the first half. I explain that to me. I know he comes off the bench. Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes. Let's say he missed a screen, missed an assignment. 5 minutes. De'Aaron's not getting that. Sabonis isn't getting that. Monk should have played more, to me.
I 100% agree. And look, we're going to go around the NBA when we come back, but we'll lead off when we come back. I know, Chris, you have the audio last night from Mike Brown talking about something picked up by Sean Cunningham, our friend, on camera, where Malik Monk hit a shot and then turned around, said something to Mike Brown, or it looked like he said something to the bench. And then that followed up with a little bit of a back and forth during a timeout. We'll set all that up. We'll play the audio, and then we'll go around the NBA right here in your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan Sea Salt Body Wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align bloating relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align bloating relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
All right, don't forget, Katie Christensen will join us at 8 a.m. And we'll try to make some sort of sense out of what's going on. Emil Fragoso is supposed to join us at 9. And Jason, you will? We've confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least yesterday confirmed.
So as we went to break, Jason, you brought up a very salient point about Malik Monk, who is on everyone's short list for 6th man of the year.
Including Coach Brown.
He plays 5 minutes in the first half. Now, listen, you and I both know this. We both covered this team long enough and covered the NBA long enough to know that there are times where, okay, this matchup wasn't working, or maybe he's watching Malik's minutes, or Malik's, fighting an injury, or who knows, maybe. And again, I hate saying stuff like this because it turns into reckless speculation. We're literally just speculating.
Yeah.
There's 30 things that could happen. Maybe Malik missed a curfew. Again, I'm sure that's not what happened, but there could be 50 reasons that we don't know about as to why that happened. It seemed, though, yesterday, just want to set this audio up, that Malik, he hit a shot right by the Kings bench at one point, and Sean Cunningham's camera picked up him turning and saying something towards the bench.
Yeah.
There was a timeout shortly after. And then you saw Malik and Coach Brown having a pretty heated, pretty intense conversation, a passionate conversation. But then also, to be fair, at the end of the timeout, as the players are going back on, you saw Malik kind of clap Coach Brown on the back. You have the audio. Here's what Mike Brown said about that.
Yeah, and just one other thing too I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's a disadvantage of where our radio location. I would say we picked up on this a lot earlier. I'm not blaming Sean, than the video was, because that was second half. We were trying to figure out what was going on, and it just felt like, when you put an idea in your head and then now everything you see kind of adds to that narrative. And so we're like, what's going on with Malik tonight? And so every time out, it just seemed like something was off. And just to support that, Dave, in the first half, here's his official box score, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. The least of anyone that played for the Kings, with the exception of Juan Toscano-Anderson, came in for the final 12 seconds. So he played less than Trey Lyles, less than Alex Len, less than Kevin Huerter, less than Davion Mitchell, and, of course, all the 5 starters. So it didn't seem to add up. He was 0 for 1, took 1 3-pointer. He had 2 rebounds, 1 assist. One foul, so wasn't in foul trouble, had a block shot. Now, for what it's worth, his plus minus was minus 11. But, okay, so it was 50-45. That incident you're talking about was when he actually started to score in the second half, and he took a look over at the bench. But here's Mike Brown talking about the situation there, the confrontation, let's say, with him and Malik Monk.
Yeah, no, it's the heat of the moment. Malik and I think everybody has seen it, but Malik and I have gotten into exchanges before. This is not the first time, and I bet a lot of money it won't be the last time. So that's not a big deal.
That's part of it. But so he's acknowledging that something happened. And again, and that does. I get all of that. But it felt to me, again, like a punishment. Yeah. And that's one of the things the coach has control over. But, okay. I mean, look, he would know better than I what lessons trying to be taught, what you're trying to communicate there. But if we say he's your third best player this year, plays 5 minutes, that's in the first half. That's a tough one to understand for me.
Well, especially and you're seeing Kevin Huerter being held accountable. He's out of the starting lineup. That's about as accountable as you can hold a guy. But when you have Harrison Barnes playing 24 minutes and Malik Monk playing 20, Keegan Murray playing 37 minutes, and look, you're going to have bad shooting nights, and I appreciate the 3 steals and his activity on defense. And you got to treat these guys differently. I understand that as well. You have to coach different guys different ways. But at some point, I would go back to kind of the philosophy we talked about as we were going to break, Jason. The players ultimately have to perform and execute.
Yep.
Where the coaches come in is in the margins. It's timeouts, challenges, lineups, matchups, moving the chess pieces around correctly. But more than anything in the NBA, it's a psychology. Your job is to keep your team ready and going every single game throughout the grind, on the road, at home, and create mental habits that preclude again, every year, every team is going to have unexplainable losses, but this is an epidemic for this team. And the reason why, and again, it's like the Harrison Barnes thing, all over again. We love Mike Brown. I think he's a hell of a coach. Yes. I love that coaching staff, but let's be really clear here. Who was it? Dwayne Casey was fired the year after he got Coach of the Year. Monty Williams, who was credited on one hand with a complete turnaround in culture in Phoenix to turn them from a cellar dweller to the lockout year where they were amazing in the bubble to contention, and now he's languishing away on coaching the worst team in the NBA and being blamed for a lot of it. Like the shelf life of coaches in the NBA. Okay, and let's be clear. No one is suggesting that Mike Brown is on the hot seat or should be or any of that crap, but it is a what have you done for me lately league. I respect him. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's going to turn this thing around. But you're going to blame the players? Sure. You got to blame the coaching staff too. Everybody needs to take a hard look in the mirror and say, are we a true blue contending team that is building, or are we just a happy-go-lucky fun team that's going to get some good wins and some good losses? And by the way, Fox and Sabonis and they're not getting any younger. They're putting up career years. You got to support these guys.
Yeah, the standings suggest the first part. The watching them every night and seeing the flaws suggest the other, right? Like, yes, the 19 and 13 is good. It's fine. It's one of the better records. You see all that, but to explain the 3 things to me that have shown up this year, kind of the unexplainable losses, and I guess there's been 2 of them, which isn't the highest volume as far as last night in Portland, but the trouble with back-to-backs, and then, Dave, to me, the one that the too many times of not competing. I mean, to get blown out. I think those losses, like when you look back at it and you go, okay, they lost to Boston by a lot, New Orleans. Okay, these are good teams, but too many times. Like, again, I think you can get to the end of the year and go, oh, they had about 5 of those. All right. But they've had about 7 to 8, it feels like. And we're at game 32. There's 50 more to go. And so if this is the way it's going to continue, yeah, they might win 48, 46 games, be a playoff team. But I don't know that anybody would have any faith in them going far as they're constructed without any real changes. And then you'd see that show up again, like randomly. Maybe they're playing great in a playoff series with Team X, and look at them. And then here's game 3, and you're like, how did they lose by 40? It's like, well, because we saw it happen during the year.
Yep. And then they crumble in the playoffs. And
yeah.
Back to square one. Again, we can handle it if they're not good enough. They are good enough. They're just not performing the potential, and that's a real problem. Much more on this coming up throughout the show. And when we come back, an opportunity to talk to somebody who's played on the floor, who's played for the Sacramento Kings, and currently coaches your UC Davis Aggies basketball. Jim Les, Kings favorite, coach of Davis. We'll talk to him, obviously, about the Aggie season. But we're going to talk to him about the psychology here of this from a coach's standpoint and an ex-player standpoint. We'll do that with Coach Les next on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise Guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers.
We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect.
We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect.
So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you.
Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, we are efforting UC Davis coach Jim Lass, who we hope will join us in just moments. Katie Christensen, Kings media analyst, will join us today. Former Kings trainer Pete Youngman has added to our bingo card of excuses. He wants to
add added to it?
Pete did.
Nice.
We have an ongoing tweet of excuses.
The trainer.
Former Kings training great Pete Youngman added in the Maloofs and himself as reasons why they're losing these games.
I 100% blame Pete.
Pete.
No way.
Come on, Pete. Pete, one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, best.
Also, shout out to our guy David on the chat, who's really he's making the chat interesting. I'll give him that. And look, everybody
still blaming me and the broadcasters.
He actually made it a point to say, "Don't you dare say I took Jason's name in vain." He does
really?
not blame you at all. Yeah, he immediately jumped up on that. But here he goes. Keep talking about psychology. Yeah, you failed to see the psychology of what media narrative, including broadcasters, does to the fan base. And how narratives aren't in a vacuum. It gets to the team and it gets to the coaches, but hey, it's all good. And I'm trying to get on his backpack and go down the rabbit hole here of, is the suggestion that if we in the media and the broadcasters hold the team more accountable, that it will filter to the team and coaches and they'll feel the pressure and step up? Because let me tell you something. You and I have covered this team for like a combined 50 years here. If I thought that our narratives could affect the front office and coaching staff, I would really be insane. And I can tell you that has happened once in my career where I have seen media truly be able to levy an effect on the team. And that was when Pete D'Alessandro was here. That's the only time. And I can tell you right now that 100% had an effect. George Karl was hired almost entirely because the media and the fans wanted that to happen. And if you're the guy or girl who was like, I didn't want it to happen, well, okay. Because I can pull receipts from Twitter where literally like 10,000 people voting on a poll I put out and 93% wanted George Karl. Remember the Here We Karl signs? Like, yeah, retrospect, not a great hire. But you were talking about a guy whose career was a masterclass in turning teams around and getting them into the playoffs and having above 500 teams. Didn't exactly work out, Jason.
No, not at all. That was a fun run. Just that whole stretch of Kings basketball.
I love how like the maybe arguably his tenure was over like 13 seconds after it started because he said nobody is tradable.
Untradeable.
Or nobody's untradeable. Sorry,
yeah.
Nobody's tradable. Nobody's untradeable. And then my guy DeMarcus, who I always loved, but well, shouldn't say always, but who I will generally stick up for. That was like one of his wieneringest reactions. And I know there was stuff going on behind the scenes, but it's like, bro, come on. Everyone's tradable, dude. Everyone. It's like when people say there's members of the Kings that aren't tradable. No,
they all are.
No, they aren't.
Yeah.
They are all. Here's the definition. Anything that says this guy's not tradable. Okay. So they call with Jokic or Giannis. You're not trading them? No, I mean, obviously. Okay, then they're tradable. They're tradable. How many untradeable players do we have in the NBA, Jason? 2? 3?
Honestly, I don't think there's any. I mean, because I don't know that I could come up with the deal for someone that, like, I'm sure the Spurs do not want to trade Victor Wembanyama. There's a lot. I don't think the Kings want to trade De'Aaron Fox. The Bucks don't want to trade Giannis, but I don't know, just come up with the most ridiculous trade. And you're like, all right, well, we didn't want to, but we got to do that.
I'm trying to think like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Because I feel like Oklahoma City could trade for any player in the NBA.
Based on what they have, yeah. They've got assets and, well, as players, but also future players, all those picks. Of course they do.
That's what I'm saying. If they offered up like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and like all their picks, is there a player in the NBA that a team's not?
They should be able to get everybody. It's just whether or not the team will do it. I mean, like the other team would listen. They're like, well, he didn't really want to trade whatever that player is, but it's like, man, how do we say no to this?
We're still efforting Jim Last. We'll probably have to get him in a different segment here. You know, I said earlier about how I'm beginning to really dislike this team. And I want to be clear about that so it's not taken out of context. My dislike comes from the fact that I have a deep love for this current squad for many reasons. I love De'Aaron Fox for getting through everything and elevating his game and always riding for Sacramento. I love Domantas Sabonis before he was a Sacramento King. I love everything about the guy. And it's a very likable team, but in this town, there are two unforgivables in this town. Lack of hustle. If you're just mailing it in on the court, that's an unforgivable. This is a government town, but deep down inside, we all know Sacramento is a blue collar town. We need effort. We need hustle. We respect guys that are diving all over the place and dripping blood. And the other unforgivable to me is when you're not reaching your potential. And the problem with this team and why they're becoming so dislikable to me, Jason, is it makes it almost it's making it very difficult for me because I can't trust them to enjoy anything. Because guess what? Orlando's coming in tonight. They lost to the Warriors. Orlando is a much improved team this year, arguably the most improved team this year. And let's say the Kings turn around. They're both on the second night of a back-to-back. They turn around. They beat Orlando by 21. You know how I'm going to come out of that game? Pissed. I'm going to be, of course, I'm going to be happy for the win. But we're going to come in here tomorrow and say, where was that against Charlotte?
Right.
Where was that against Portland? And that's a terrible circle to whirlpool yourself down the toilet when you're mad at losses and you're mad at wins. I don't want to have that feeling.
So this to get you, well, let's add to the frustration if we can. So last night, obviously, as awful of a performance as they played Charlotte, and I go, wait, this sounds way too, all of it felt way too familiar to me from a year ago. So I went to the box score last night after I got home, which was just more torture. So just because we can't put ourselves emotionally into how we felt like a year ago, like we can know the losses were bad and painful. You remember certain things, but you can't get yourself into the emotions that we felt like last night. So Dave, 1 year ago on December 19th, the Kings were coming into their game. Let me see if I can get their exact record here. They were 16 and 12. So they've gotten out of that 0-4.
Yep.
16-12, feeling pretty good about what they're doing. Really happy about this team, starting to love this team, starting to play really good basketball, light the beam, so on and so forth. They were hosting Charlotte on a Monday night. Charlotte was losers of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. The night before, Charlotte was in Denver and lost to the Nuggets. Just like last night, losers of 11 in a row. The night before, they were in Denver, losing to the Nuggets. Now, here's the difference. This feels a little more acceptable a year ago. Charlotte, starting lineup, P.J. Washington, Gordon Hayward, Mason Plumlee, LaMelo Ball, Kelly Oubre Jr. I don't know why that team was so bad, but that team, all right. I mean, nobody's happy that the Kings lost that one, but that makes a little more sense than anything remotely that happened last night. Because I'm like, wait, I remember feeling like this about Charlotte last year. And it was basically the same thing, except for Charlotte had their guys. Charlotte was missing 66 points per game, I think, last night.
Yeah. I say like I had that committed to memory. It just sounds right.
60-something, whatever it was.
All right, we're going to push things forward a little bit. That's fine. It's always better to be too busy than not busy enough. We'll take a break. When we come back, we did track down Jim Les. He is elusive. He is fast. He has a good spin move, but we did track him down. UC Davis head coach Jim Les will come up next. 3 for Madness at 7:27, and then Katie Christensen at 8 a.m. Sit back, relax. Kingsaholics Anonymous continues with former King Jim Les next.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90 for a limited time. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Welcome back. Occasionally I set my phone down on my little board I have down here, and it plays a sound effect. So there we go, back in time. Perfect. As I believe our next guest is waiting for us on the telephone.
Yes.
The head coach of your UC Davis Aggies, heard right here in your home of the Aggies, Sactown Sports, former Sacramento King and crowd favorite for many, many good reasons. Coach Jim Les joins us as he does each and every week. Coach, it's David, Jason. Good morning.
Dave, Jason, Happy New Year. How you guys doing?
Terrible. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. We need to, we're going to obviously talk about what's going on with the basketball program over at UC Davis, but Coach, we need you here for a little bit. We need to get on your couch and lie down with an ice pack, and we need to rely on you as a coach, as an ex-player, and as an ex-Sacramento King to help us figure out why the Kings, who turned it around last year, who have wins over elite teams in this NBA, including the Nuggets, can go from losing on the road to a 6-win Portland team to beating Atlanta, which I know you remember is maybe the toughest place for the Sacramento Kings to win, to maybe their most complete victory of the season against Memphis. And then once again, you have a Charlotte team missing half their players, coming in on a second night of a back-to-back, losers of 11 in a row, and you absolutely lay an egg. And we're trying to figure out, Coach, what the hell is going on?
Well, that's January in the NBA. And as much as you don't like those things as a player, as a coach, it happens, especially in the midst of a road trip back east. And it's just one of those things of, you go through 82 games, you're gonna have some of those nights you don't like them, you can't really explain them, they don't make sense. But I would say this to both of you, having watched the team pretty closely here this year, and also getting over there for training camp, the culture of this group is different. The attitude, the attention to detail, really impressed with Coach Brown and how he runs his team, his practice, the accountability he puts on guys. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a game like this, but this doesn't turn into a tailspin when you have a good team and you have good culture, and especially when your best players, Fox and Sabonis, are bought in and able to lead. So, as much as you don't want to take that medicine, Dave, sometimes you just got to take it, move on. And but we all have flashbacks. I know that. And we all have concerns that it's going to slip back into the abyss that we've all experienced. But that's not going to happen.
Coach, when there's a night like last night where, just collectively they were off, whether it was taking Charlotte, I don't know what, but I didn't think they played a smart game. It was a bit out of character, sloppy turnovers, missed free throws, just like they couldn't get out of their own way. And sometimes you can still recover and win a game like that. And I honestly thought they would. Ultimately, they didn't. But when you're in the middle of a game like that as a coach, which seems out of whack, what's the fix sometimes? Because it just didn't seem like they could find it at all night long. How do you try to fix a game that's just going down the wrong direction?
Well, I just think you're willing to try any and everything. And sometimes it's, hey, you got to put some guys and let them just watch for a while and maybe give that second unit extended minutes and see if those guys can, energize a team and make a run and get them going. So, you might switch up and play more zone than you normally would, just to maybe break another team's rhythm. But maybe it just gives you a little bit of life to do things differently. And, you search, and I know as a coach, when you go back and watch the film, you're just like, sometimes there's not a whole lot you can do. You tried to make a lot of different changes, nothing seemed to work, and it was just one of those nights.
Coach Jim West joining us. And Coach, I don't need to tell you, my love and respect for the team and the players and the coaches. And so we're just on the psychologist couch here, and I'm just trying to learn from someone who's been there. I think about words like mentally soft, which I guess is 2 words. I think about the coaches. I asked about the coaching staff and how much you have to be a psychologist, especially in the NBA, on this day-to-day grind. There's nothing we hate more than Sacramento than lack of hustle and not reaching your potential. And you were on many of those teams, Coach, and I say this with all love and respect, where at the end of the day, you guys just weren't as good as the other team, and you lost. And you know what? And you know this better than anyone. This town still backed you because the heart and the hustle and the effort was there, which is almost more important than the wins and losses. And I feel like last night, those types of games are some of the biggest crimes you can commit in the eyes of Sacramento fans. If you're going to lose to a better team, that's fine. You're going to have the occasional off night, that's fine. But when you have this epidemic of almost just not showing up, thinking you're better, being distracted by a bumblebee, I don't know what it is. You search for explanations,
Yeah, and that's part of taking the next step of being, everyone talks about, hey, how do we get into the upper echelon? And, that's that next step of doing that, of having a bad night where you're, like you said, you're mentally tougher to fight through it, to find, scratch, claw any way you can to eke out a win. That's a big part of taking that step. But the other part of taking that step too is also today in the film session, the coaches being able to right a wrong and, have a good, tough film session. The film doesn't lie. Show it to the guys, talk to them about it, and make sure that this doesn't happen again, and make sure that there's a response to this. Because otherwise, I always say the game is very humbling. And as soon as you think you have it figured out, the game's going to humble you. So you have to stay on edge. You have to constantly be with the mindset of, hey, we've got to outwork, we've got to outplay no matter who we're going against. And when you have that slip back, it's important to get a response. Nothing we can do about last night, but there's certainly something we can do about the next time out. And that film session today is going to be a doozy, I got to imagine.
Talk with UC Davis basketball coach Jim Les, former King as well, and the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Coach, I know coaches will say those phrases like control the controllables. One of those things that this team is dead last in the league, and it's the same meat and bones of the team from the year before, is free throw shooting. And that can lose you a game. It's not the only reason they lost last night, but they missed 7 more, 58%. There's been a few more of those games than I'm sure Coach Brown would have wanted. What's your approach when a team isn't making them? Is it logically just shoot more in practice? Do you harp on it? Do you stay away from it? Kind of what's the approach on a team that's struggling from the line?
Yeah, I think you try and continue to find ways to create a pressure environment in practice and get extra reps. You're not necessarily talking about the fact that you're not being successful, but you're slipping into practice what I call peer pressure free throws. And guys have to step the line and make them, or the team's going to run, or you're having contests at practice where there's some pressure and there's a little bit of trash talk going on. It's so hard to create that game environment, but being able to do that allows guys to be able to shoot with a little bit more pressure than usual than just, hey, everyone go to a basket and make 10 free throws. And everybody's kind of talking and it's very casual. You try and change the free throw shooting environment that you're working under to get guys, a little bit more locked in, feeling that game pressure.
Coach Jim Les joining us. Last thing, and then we need to switch to your program, but we appreciate you.
Hey, I love talking about the Kings. I'm good with this.
and we appreciate that too. We just want to make sure that we give the Ags their just due and all the great work you're doing over there. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind having some of your kids come over and shoot free throws for the Kings. But I guess, and this is an unfair question, Coach, I'll say in advance, because you're not as much as an encyclopedia more than we do about this stuff. We were talking earlier about Malik Monk playing a limited amount of minutes in the first half and having a little bit of a exchange with Coach Brown. Coach Brown said after the game, it's not far from the first time they've done that, won't be the last. When on paper, it doesn't make a lot of sense for a guy like Malik Monk to play limited minutes in the first. But when you're somebody, again, who coaches, who has played, do you tend to look for other things there, whether it's matchups and injury? What are some of the things that run through your head as an educated man at this when you see something like that?
Well, I think, there's also a motivational behind the scenes. There could be some things going on that they're trying to get Malik to do for the team. And, maybe, and this is just a guess, maybe the buy-in just isn't there. So there's a little bit of give and take in a January game of, hey, I've got to get this message across because I know for us to be successful, this player, our team needs to do this. So I've got to send that message that this is important to me, to us, and I need you to grasp this. And we've tried some other ways maybe to get you motivated, and it hasn't worked. And so sometimes the benches becomes a motivator. And we don't necessarily like that as a fan from a distance, but we know over the long haul, it's going to be beneficial for the team if that we can get that message across or get that buy-in. So that could certainly have something to do with it. And, I know with competitive, hardworking guys and passionate players like Malik is, and he's very emotional, very enthusiastic. He, you're going to have interactions with a player coach with that type of player. And it's never personal. It's about what's best for the team. And, I'm sure there's some inner workings going there that, again, Mike Brown being through the battles that he's been through, I'm guessing besides a really good film session, there's going to be a one-on-one talk today about, hey, I want to know what's on your mind, clear the air, but I want you to know what's on my mind and what we need you to do and what going forward is expected of you. And this needs to get done, because if I can't get you to do it, it's much harder to get some of those other guys to do it.
That's great points. We're talking with Jim Les. Coach, got to ask you then about your program. You got the buy-in going with you guys. First 2 games, victories in the Big West. Now you got more league play starting on the road with Riverside and Irvine this week. What's been a key to the success, I guess, over these last 3 games in your 3-game win streak?
I did just defensively. And again, being on this side of it and the challenge of guys buying into the hard work, the effort, the intensity, the togetherness that you need on the defensive end of the floor that gives you a chance to win. And, we hold a very good Santa Barbara team to, I think it was 34% shooting in the second half. It's a 5-point game we pulled away and win going away. And then Cal Poly we have at home, and it's a 6-point game at the half and holding the 25% shooting in the second half. And we win going away and holding the 46 points for the game. So for us, we pride ourselves on our defense. Our defense creates offense for us. We're creating turnovers when we're active and aggressive. And again, sometimes it takes a while for guys to buy into that. And you're struggling as a leader, as a coach, to make sure your group understands the importance of it, to make sure everybody's buying into it. But especially too in this day and age, more so than when I was playing, is all the outside noise and the social media, and everybody has a voice and everybody's in your ear. And, it's just so much more prominent that sometimes it's harder to corral a group and keep them focused on, what's in front of you and what we know is most important and leads to our success. Because, there's a lot of outside noise.
There is never a time as a lifelong Kings fan and also doing the job we do that there's never a time I don't love talking to you, Coach Les, but special meeting this morning and helping at least straighten our brains out a little bit. We're all on this ride together. Continued success with you and your program. Thank you so much for coming on each week with us. And we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Thanks, guys. I promise better days are ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Take care. You're listening to us.
You guys have a great week.
You too, Coach. Thank you. That's Coach Jim Les, UC Davis Aggies head coach. We will take a very quick break. When we come back, 3 for Madness, we move some stuff around a little bit. We'll get to that. And then Katie joining us at the top of the hour. Don't forget, we still have your excuse bingo card going. We'll update you on that as well as we sit back and get through a Kings Holics Anonymous session right here in your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right. Do not forget, Katie Christensen will join us at the top of the hour. Also, get ready. And at the end of this segment, make sure you call in at 1-800-920-1140. We have a, believe it or not, Jiffy Lube drive of the game. And no, it was not somebody driving home from that debacle. There's actually a play in the game that G-Man called out, and you can winterize your vehicle with a $100 gift certificate to Jiffy Lube, or springerize your vehicle. That's a thing with warm weather right around the corner, Jason. In the meantime, 3 for Madness. Question 1, Christopher Lott.
Are we going to be doing this Wolati crap all year?
First off, it's Woloti. Secondly,
I like to say Wolati.
Wolati,
yadi.
Yeah, it sounds like a soccer player. Wolati Johnson. No, because I don't think it can. Look.
Don't say it.
I know, right? But like, okay.
We will. You know it. We're already there.
Like next week against Detroit, I think we would think that's a worse loss. But then, correct me if I'm wrong, like the only thing that could be worse would be a home loss to Detroit. Again, other than like the last game in the playoffs and you lose in a heartbreaker, that doesn't count. I'm talking about like,
well,
yeah.
No, I don't think I think you're thinking of that like in a logical way as far as teams with really bad records, right? But you were willing to put Boston's performance up there. That's the team with the best record.
Yeah.
So let's just, I mean, if we're going to do this, like I'm going to look down the line. Okay. Sunday, it's a road game, but Sunday, January 14th. I just picked this out because I see it's Milwaukee. We find out pre-tip, Giannis, Dame, Lopez aren't playing. So I don't know, something like that where you go, wow, they're missing 87 points per game. It's their, second game out of a back-to-back. They're resting all those guys, and the Kings lose by 22. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's another type of candidate of a game that could still happen, and has happened.
Well, and I'm trying to keep out of like I'm trying to keep like all playoff, or like, for example, if we were to play to your point, if we were to play like a shorthanded decent team, let's say the Lakers were missing AD and LeBron, and we needed to win the game to secure the 3 seed. I don't know, whatever. And we lose that. Like, obviously that's going to be. Bottom line is this. It seems like every week we have a new Elodie.
Yes.
And I'm just, at this point, we're going to start like, there's going to start being shirts and stuff. And I don't want to be a part of that, man.
Oh, wait, you like gear.
I do like gear, but I don't want this gear. I want Bewodies, not Willodies. I want
Belodies?
best wins of the year.
Bewody, yeah.
Give me the Bewody, not the Willody.
It's a half shirt.
It's a crop top. Number 2, please.
Question 2.
Do you remember a Kings team anything like this?
No, I was thinking about that before the show. I don't, because I remember a lot of Kings teams that sucked, and the Kings teams sucked because they sucked. Like, they just weren't good. They didn't have the talent to compete. You have those midi teams, the Ron Artest Kings, the Brian Grant sneaking to the playoffs, the Mitch Richmond Seattle. You have those teams, and then you have the 2 golden eras. Well, the 2002 golden era, and then the golden era that is becoming in this one. But here's the thing: really, I can only compare this team to the 02 teams, and I guarantee you, we can go back every season of those Chris Webber teams and find at least 2, 3, 5 crap hole losses, but it wasn't like this. And if it was, then man, boy, have I blocked it out, because I went back and looked, and I don't remember a team that we've ever had that was this likable, talented, and as frustrating as it's been this season. It wasn't this way last season, Jason. We were the darlings. None of it was expected. This year, it's been like they come up and they're like, here's a nice cake that we baked for you. You should eat it. It's amazing. You eat it, and you're like, oh my God, this is a wonderful cake. And then just as you're wiping your mouth, they're like, hey, here's another dessert for you. Kick in the nuts. And then you're like, oh, that hurts. And you're rolling around on the ground and you're screaming because, oh my God, that hurts so bad. And then they're like, while you're rolling around, they're like, yo, here's some awesome filet mignon. It's cool. And here's a Band-Aid. And then just as you're getting up and you're feeling better, and like the hurt in your stomach is going away from the junk kick, they kick you in the junk again. And it's just, you're going from junk to cake to junk to steak. And I don't know when to stop flinching. And that's what this team has done to me. It's made me a flincher, and I'm getting
that was a really good analogy.
No, it wasn't, but you get my point.
I think last year's team is more like this year than you think, but I think because last year was new and it was great success and we were so excited. I just was looking back and there's plenty of reminders of some things that were really frustrating last year, but this is more. They're not the same, but I mean, I remember the getting swept by the Hawks at home, losing to Philly without Embiid. What was the one that they could have clinched the thing in front of the home crowd, losing to Minnesota without Towns. There's plenty of bad nights last year, but not as extreme, I would say, as this year for sure.
God, the Philly game. I remember that game in Philly. That was the first.
They got swept by Philly, swept by the Hawks, they had lost at home in about a 3-game stretch to Washington and the Charlotte game I mentioned. And Washington wasn't any good. But this year they've done it far too much this early in the year.
That loss to Philly last year was the first game I turned off. I was like, I know what's going to happen. It's just Embiid, the free throw merchant. Everyone's got 6 fouls in the third quarter. Harden just rolling through and flopping like a floppy fish. Ugh. All right, question 3. Sorry.
Question 3.
At what point do Barnes's failures fall on Mike Brown?
Yeah, and I wrote this question for a reason. I think it's something that needs to be explored. At some point, if you're fishing and the fish aren't biting and you keep using the wrong bait, at what point do you not blame the fish anymore for not biting? It's what you're putting on the hook. He keeps throwing them out there, and I'm not saying, look, we should not be blaming all of this on Harrison Barnes. We should not be blaming most or half of it on Harrison Barnes, but his inconsistencies have always been there. but he has taken a sizable drop off this year. You moved Kevin Huerter out of the starting lineup. I get it. I need to understand why, for example, we're not going to see a lineup. Here's something I'd like to see. Give me if you don't want to move Monk out off the bench because he is your anchor for that second team, I understand the logic behind that. But can we get Trey Lyles? Can we give Trey a shot in the starting lineup for Harrison Barnes? Can we put Sasha Vezenkov there? Yeah, you're going to take a defensive hit, but at this point, Harrison Barnes is wildly inconsistent. And for every game where he shows up and, nice percentages across the board, great defense, and gives you 18 to 22 points, you get 5 games of 3 points in 24 minutes. And it ain't all about scoring. I completely understand that, but he's not doing much of anything else either. And again, he didn't get plays called for him. Mike Brown stepped in front of him a couple weeks about that. Well, now there's Chris Duarte, and he had 12 points last night. So at some point, you got to look at the coaches and say, dude, you're the one that doles out the minutes, and you're obviously seeing something in Harrison we're not seeing.
Yeah, I mean, to say, I feel like, I will go to Barnes first. He's the one actually playing. Mike Brown's the one playing him. I don't personally think, Dave, that Barnes would be that good of a bench player. Like, if you're not getting anything from him as an offensive player, usually bench guys are a spark. You put him in because you want to have something different. Like, Barnes is kind of a go with the flow type player to me. And so if he gets 2 shot attempts in 24 minutes last night, there's too many games that he does like that. If you put him off the bench, I don't know what you have. So then if that's the question, like, he doesn't seem like a great bench player, he's maybe not that, then some of it falls on Monty and the front office. Like, I feel like it's a collective. It's Barnes first himself, and Brown for playing him, and the team for signing him. But they did it, and you can't undo that. And so he's either got to figure out a way to be more impactful for this team in the minutes that he's on, or they got to come up with an alternative plan.
I don't disagree with you. He doesn't seem like he's a big bench guy. At the same time, you can't be doling out starter minutes because, you can't play off the bench. I hear you. And honestly, if I'm being honest, the most logical explanation as to why Harrison Barnes is still getting strong minutes, the one answer that I would go, oh, okay, all right, I get it. And it's the one answer they can't give us is, if you put Harrison Barnes, if you drop his minutes, his value goes even worse. Mm-hmm. And they're hoping he has a couple of pretty decent games to where maybe some team out there will bite. If they're still feeding him minutes and trying to hold on to him to try to raise his value in some sort of way or showcase him in some sort of way, that is the one answer, Jason, that I would accept, and it's also one answer they'll never ever give us.
Exactly.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we got a lot. We're actually behind on some things. Let's go around the NBA a little bit as well. We might get to some NFL notes. We want to stick to the Kings as well, and we've got Katie Christensen at the top of the hour. So we'll just throw a bunch of stuff at you, including, I guess, the whole "it could be worse" when we're talking about players that don't contribute. We'll tell you what we mean next.
Kevin Huerter plays here.
It's Huerter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Huerter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99. For nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now. The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good times spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Carmichael Dave.
Has very good sources and just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
1-800-920-1140 is the phone number you can call right now. Jiffy Lube Drive of the Game. Very simple. If you were listening last night, I'm sure you were, and you heard G-Man call out the drive of the game, call in right now with it. First caller gets a $100 gift certificate to Jiffy Lube. Jason Ross.
Yeah, and we even played it again at the half of yesterday's halftime show. So, I mean, it aired live, obviously, and then got a second run. So hopefully you have two chances to hear it. Not one, but two chances.
Not one, but two chances.
Yeah.
The game of golf. Check in on the YouTube chat today. You can always watch us. The YouTube chat is just
healthy.
Boy, oh my goodness gracious. We have somebody needing the broadcasters to hold and the media to hold the team accountable because the team and coaching need to hear that from us and it affects culture. That was good. Now we have one where one of our longtime listeners claimed that women can't be passionate about sports, and then after he got crushed, and rightfully so, blamed the Vietnam War for why he said that. I still don't know the connection there, which has now led to questions as to whether or not our many female listeners who we love so much, as we do everyone that are here every day, if their thumbs are passionate enough to give us a thumbs up on the YouTube chat. The answer to that, of course, is yes. But now that has led to a new band name called the Passionate Man Thumbs, which kind of a post-emo pop punk thing, I think,
yeah.
Jason. It's just an absolute garbage fire in there today, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I totally understand it. I mean, we've been talking about it. We'll talk about it with Katie here in a few moments. Whether it was the Walodi, the worst, like it was 100% the worst performance, though, right? Like, I just thought they played foolish basketball. They played with fire all night long. As far as like they're gonna like, it just kept going. Like, what are they doing? Why are they in this rut? They're messing around. They're gonna lose this game. And I thought even when, and we played the highlight earlier, Dave, when Charlotte actually caught the Kings and then the turnover and they're down 3. Now in an NBA game where you're down 3 with like a minute and a half to go, like still, like all you have to do is, if they played a good 90 seconds, they still win the game, as bad as they were. And I thought their execution at the end was absurd. It was so bad. Malik took a hurried 3. They lost a defender. Fox then like chose the one time he probably should force a 3 to try to go to the basket, then just lost the ball. I thought they were just hideous in late game execution.
Well, there's some reasons we've been working on all day, Jason, and we'll talk to Katie in 10 minutes about this, but there might be some reasons we originally didn't think about coming into the show as to why the Kings, as you just called it, the worst performance of the year, or the Wapoti, was last night. It was the first game back from a road trip. There were other players that stepped up for the opportunity on the Hornets because of injuries. You know, they have to get paid too, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Kings are adjusting to the new starting lineup. You can't win them all. It's tough to come back after New Year's when you're with family after a road trip. Pete Youngman and the Maloofs, we can always blame them. Sean Thomas checking in from North Carolina, my old partner, says it's got to be on the refs as well.
Oh, for sure.
We haven't even talked about the refs.
I know. Dang, why didn't we blame them?
Let's see. The losses like this happen during the season. Jet lag. The Kings are a work in progress. Rotations. And Hornets really hungry to stop the streak. And my favorite, and there's many variations of this, but hey, they made the playoffs last year. They're above 500. Let's just appreciate what we have.
Well, they do have a better record at this time than last year.
They do.
That's worth.
They do, and they probably, if we go back and look, probably have more quality wins this year than they did this time last year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You want to see if we can answer the Jiffy Lube drive of the game?
Oh, I do. Here, please take the reins. I will be a listener like everyone else. I'm rooting for whoever this is.
All right. Well, this is Ashley. Ashley, do you know the Jiffy Lube drive of the game?
So first, I just want to say I am a passionate listener and all that of sports. And I am also a woman for the
yes. Yes.
Said otherwise.
Yes.
And also, in terms of the drive of the game, I was watching it from the live TV broadcast. So I don't really I have an idea of what it could be, but I'm just going with the drive home last night because it was an awful spot.
Well, Ashley, I feel like that should be the right answer, but unfortunately, it is not. Technically the right answer. Though, Dave, I feel like Ashley was not only creative, but probably should have been right on that one.
And look, see, I admire the passion.
Yeah.
You see that? Good for you, Ashley.
But that is not correct. That was not the drive of the game.
1-800.
My drive home wasn't that pleasant, honestly.
No,
I was not happy last night.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody was happy coming out of that. Well, the Hornets.
What does an unhappy Jason driving looking like?
Excellent question, Christopher Lott. What is that like, Jason? We're getting faces. Oh, we get the single hand wave. The double hand wave. He's driving. He's leaned back, one hand on the wheel, not safe. He's got the bitter beer face going on, thumb down. All the other hand is on the wheel, but thumb down. Oh, he's
police officer is pulling up behind him.
I was going to do a different gesture.
Good that you caught yourself.
I did. I forgot these things are on the old YouTube.
Now I'm going to wonder which one, because there's a couple. There you go. Sticking the tongue out. Good thing, though, you're not the Brooklyn Nets gentleman who, boy, they lost 112-85. That's not what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at a couple of their players. Spencer Dinwiddie played 21 minutes last night and went 0 for 6. Royce O'Neal played 28 minutes and went 0 for 6. Cam Thomas played 20 minutes and went 0 for 11. Dorian Finney-Smith played 20 minutes. He went 1 for 6. Now, my quick math here, 6, 12, 18, 28, 29. 1 of 29 with 3 points from 4 guys who all played 20 minutes or more. That's got to be some sort of a, if not record, certainly it's got to be up there.
That's a whoopody.
That is 100% a whoopody. All right, we should take a break here. When we come back, the talented, the passionate, although I don't know how passionate she's going to be at 8 a.m., but the one, the only Katie Christensen, TV analyst, our dear friend, she joins us to try to make sense of last night. And don't forget, we haven't decided on a sounder, by the way, but we do have the excuse card ready to go for Katie. We'll see if she can hit any of those squares coming up right after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
There's going to be one that will sting, and it will sting a bunch. And you've got Orlando coming in, one of the surprising teams of the Eastern Conference tomorrow night. It's over. Horn sounds. Charlotte's streak is broken. They get just their 8th win of the year, and after losing 11 straight, they come into Sacramento, and the Kings, who were feeling pretty good about themselves after a horrific start of a 3-game road trip last week, getting victories in Atlanta and Memphis and playing outstanding defense. Tonight, they give this team 111. Sacramento scores only 104. They commit 21 turnovers.
Yeah.
Blech. Angry G-Man. Not angry. Disappointed G-Man.
Yes.
Joining us right now, the TV analyst for your Sacramento Kings. She joins us each and every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Katie Christensen. Katie, we had a guy in the chat earlier, which is a dumpster fire, say that he's never met a woman that's passionate about sports like guys are. So we're kind of going with that theme today is you are nothing if not passionate. And you had to watch that drivel and try to entertain us along with your broadcast partner last night. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning. I feel like Tuesdays have not been good game days because I feel like I talked about some bad losses recently.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
They've had a few.
Yeah.
And we coined a phrase yesterday. This is how bad it is when we actually spent a couple segments yesterday talking about the fact that Charlotte had lost 11 in a row coming in, whereas they were missing serious pieces on that squad and coming in on the second night of a back-to-back when the Kings have had a day or two to rest. And would this be what we call the Wolodi, the worst loss of the year, that would take over from the Portland Wolodi, which took over from the Boston Wolodi, which took over from the New Orleans Cup game at home Wolodi. And 78% of Kings fans said that last night is the new reigning Wolodi. We just don't have any explanations for it, Katie.
Well, I mean, I don't really look at this as the worst loss or Wolodi, whatever the heck you guys are using. I thought Boston was a bad loss because I thought they just didn't play well. Like I think there's been some where I don't feel like they play with the requisite energy. Last night was a weird game. I thought that they did such a great job of scrambling on defense. Like they were brilliant on the boards. They did a lot of the hustle plays, those types of things. But there was some things like the turnovers that were so uncharacteristic of this team that, you know, it was just like, oh, wow. It never felt like they had formed any kind of flow in their offense. You were just kind of waiting for them to start to feel like they were starting to click. There was a ton of turnovers. I mean, DeMontis had 11, and I would say 4 of those were offensive fouls. You know, like it had a very weird flow to it in terms of the offense. But it doesn't. And yes, I mean, you look at the whole scope of things. Like you look at, they had lost 11 in a row. It's a team playing with a lot of injuries, so on and so forth. But like that's also to me, I don't know, a little bit disrespectful because a team is not going to lose 82 games. Like when you're on a losing skid like that and you're going through stuff, like it kind of builds this weird energy and you can become really dangerous as a team. Any team on any given night can beat any other team in the NBA. I don't care who you are, what the story is. So I think that we have a tendency to look at those things like record, that kind of stuff, and be like, oh, it's just a terrible loss. Well, you know, I don't know. I try to look at the bigger picture. And to me, I thought there was good things last night, but it had just a really, really weird feeling on the offensive end. And there's going to be games where it's just like, wow, they just didn't have it, you know?
Yeah. On something Katie, Dave, and I were talking about earlier, and you were closer to the floor, and I'm not saying you know exactly what happened because you were working, you're trying to sort it all out. We were trying to figure out the whole situation with Malik Monk and Mike Brown. For Malik to only play 5 minutes in the first half was very curious. I know Coach Brown talked about it post game, saying, "Yeah, that Malik and I have gotten into stuff before. It won't be the last time either." But do you know any more about what that might even be and kind of what led to any of that last night with those two?
No clue. I will say, like, I looked at, before halftime, it was like, I looked kind of at the stat sheet, one of the timeouts, and I was like, wow, Malik's only played like 5 minutes. Like, I think it was like actually 4:59 he played in the first half. And there was no indication at all. I didn't catch anything that was going on. He played well in the second half. He came in, he hit a couple threes. He looked at the bench, he looked at Mike Brown, and after all of that, I mean, there was some stuff that happened on the floor, and Mike and Malik were talking, and Malik was like, that was right in front of us, and he was super receptive. It was normal. Like, I don't know that anything did happen. I didn't see anything happen, but like, I kind of felt like, okay, is this potentially happening because he's now altered the starting lineup, which a lot of people were wanting him to do. Let's just be clear about that. Like, can't tell you how often media is asking about, with Kevin Huerter's shooting struggles, like, anyway, you're going to change the starting lineup. It's like, okay, so he changes the starting lineup and you put Chris Duarte in there. Well, then now you have to figure out what your rotation is off the bench, because you've had the same rotation for a while now. When do you bring Kevin in? When do you bring Malik in? And I think that I kind of looked at it as like, okay, maybe this is just him trying to figure it out. But I don't know that anything specific happened, and I think if it did, I don't know that either one would ever share it.
Katie Christensen joining us, Kings TV analyst, and let's zoom out to 50,000 feet. Katie, we joke about it, but this is incredibly frustrating. I mean, his team's really, I'm really starting to dislike them, because I hate when it's one thing if you suck and the other team's better, but this is not the case with this team. And we can go back through, as we just did, whether it's Charlotte, whether it's Portland, whether it's not showing up for Boston, not showing up against the Clippers. There's like 8 or 9, it seems like, really bad losses. They come back home. Charlotte, again, has lost 11 in a row. I understand what you said about them being dangerous. I don't disagree with that. They're NBA players too. They're missing major pieces last night. And they played the night before in Denver, Mile High. How the hell is this team losing to the Charlotte Hornets? How are they losing these weird games against lame teams consistently?
I mean, am I supposed to have an answer that makes you feel better?
I get it. No, and I'm not looking to you for.
Like, I can talk about the X's and O's. I can talk about the things that went wrong, but I kind of already covered that in your first question to me. I understand, that this is, you want an improvement on next year. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, they're going into the new year with the same record that they had a year ago going in. I think it's like 19 wins going into the turn of the calendar year. So this team isn't awful. I just think that this team has, it has much higher expectations than it did a year ago. So it's more frustrating to people when they lose, and more frustrating when they have a bad game. But over the course of 82 games, you're going to have some bad games. And I don't know, like I said, I felt like last night didn't qualify as like one of their worst games of the year, because I thought there was really great things that I haven't seen from them. They scrambled and played energetically, collectively on the defensive end, did some stuff on the glass, on both the offense and defensive glass, following plays better than I think I've seen them all year. I really do believe that last night. They just stunk on offense. They just could not develop any kind of flow. You have to give Charlotte some credit for that. It was a team playing that was desperate, but it was also like there's going to be nights where your offense isn't, you're not going to be able to rely on it as this, crazy offense that we know the Kings can have, like where they're hitting 23 threes, like it's not going to be that night in and night out. Like I understand the frustration, but I guess I also look at it as the fact that if this team wants to do anything in the postseason, they have to be able to defend teams. They have to be able to collectively do some things and cause some damage on the defensive end, on the glass, do some of those hustle things, the energy things, and they have to do that well and consistently. And everyone complained about their defense a year ago, rightfully so, because they were among the bottom in the league. Like going into yesterday's game, they were 19th in the league in defensive rating after being the bottom of the barrel last year. They're making progress and trending in the right direction. And sometimes the way that happens when you're doing that, you're sacrificing some other things. It's a process for them to figure out how to play at both ends of the floor. Like we're 30 some odd games into the season. This isn't happening in game, 75. I think I'd be a little bit more concerned, but I think they're figuring some crap out. Truly.
Katie, when the coach makes the move to put Chris Duarte in the starting lineup, granted, I get it, it's 2 games, so we've only got the 2-game sample size, but the one game was probably their most complete performance in Memphis. Then last night was, as you described, just they were off collectively. Do you think Coach Brown's getting what he wanted so far? Again, 2 games of the roster tweak to the starting lineup, but do you think he's getting what he kind of wanted out of that?
I mean, I think so. That's something that if I had to bet, if we asked him that question, that it would be, I want to see a larger sample size of it. I think that Chris Duarte adds something different to the starting lineup because defensively, he's able to do some things and have some different guard matchups, which in essence takes a little bit of pressure off of De'Aaron Fox to have to be guarding someone like Trae Young or John Morant for an entire game, right? But offense isn't the problem in the starting lineup. It certainly isn't. But having someone consistently that can play defense, and I think that that's kind of why the change came. They gave Kevin an opportunity to pick up his defense. I think that he tried. He did his best. He's made some strides in that direction, but it was also happening while simultaneously he's really struggling offensively. So it's like, okay, they gave him a sufficient amount of time to be able to kind of turn things around on both ends. And if you're not turning it around specifically on the offensive end, then okay, we're going to make a change here and go for defense. And I do like what Chris has brought so far. But I think there's an adjustment period. I really do. So we'll see what it looks like after, like, say, a 5-game sample size. If the rotations and how he does in the scoring and the offense, obviously scoring was not an issue in Memphis, and he was in the starting lineup. Well, they scored, just over 100 points last night. So do you blame that on the roster or the lineup change? I don't think so, but they're going to, take a look at everything.
Well, Katie, as we wrap up, I'm going to give you some flowers, as hard as it is for me to do. There are 2 things you do that I hate more than anything. One is I can't ever get you to decide between 2 things, give me a grade or yes or no. And then a lot of times after frustrating losses like this, you come on and, you'll give us reasons, which I call excuses and you call reasons as to why. So I had set up a whole bingo card as to things I thought you were going to throw out as far as excuses as to why. And I even did a follow-up question to try to lead you down the road. I think you did one, which was actually not even that exciting because it was actually a pretty decent reason. You seem, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like it's kind of a combination like the rest of us. You're at a loss for answers and also frustrated like the rest of us with what you're seeing in the inconsistency.
You're giving me my flowers for that?
I'm saying that I expected you to come on and make me angry because you were going to have like these logical reasons as to, why I even made a list, Katie. I made a list of things that I thought people were going to say, not just you. I made a whole list and you didn't really cover any of these. First came back from a trip. When Hornets players are injured, others will step up to the opportunity. We're adjusting the new starting lineup. Can't win them all. The holidays are tough. Pete Youngman came in and said he offered himself up as someone to blame, along with the Maloofs. Sean Thomas said the refs. And the whole, hey, they could be not in the playoffs and they have a good record. I can't remember the one you said, but it was one I'd actually said earlier. I think we repeated each other. And I'm telling you, you didn't hit any of the bingo stuff. And I'm saying, I think I can hear in your voice, I don't think you're having it this morning. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but you sound frustrated.
I'm not frustrated. I think the frustration comes from, but here's the honest to God truth. Like, I get it. Like, I understand watching this team and looking at opponents and losses, and you look at the Boston loss. Oh, it's disgusting. It's just like, no, I'm sorry. I don't react the same way, I think, as a lot of other people do. And you're not going to get me to be super angry about this game. It sucks. You move on. You have another one. You're going to beat teams that you're not supposed to beat in situations where you shouldn't beat them. You're going to lose to teams where, on paper, you shouldn't lose to them. I think for me, I'm okay with people being frustrated. I'm not frustrated. The frustrating thing to me is kind of having to go through kind of the whole thing, right? Of like, okay, like, in the end, like I played the game, Dave, and I know people don't like to hear that. It's like it's an excuse. It's like I look at this a little bit differently. And I've been in some stinkers. I've played in some stinkers. And there's some where it's like, man, that sucks. We lost. We shouldn't have lost. But you can't freaking dwell on it. Like, you can't. You have to take the lessons you can from it, and you have to move on. So I guess for me, the frustration is not from the loss. The frustration is with, like, the immense frustration all the time over a loss. They're going to happen. They're not going to win 82 games. Like,
and I'm not pushing back on you because you do look at it differently, and I respect that. I do. And real talk, I'm not messing with you right now. I think for me, and I'm just speaking for a lot of fans out here, is and we'll go a little long on this because I think this is important. The frustrating thing is that it's not every team. Jason and I talked about this earlier, the 2002 era. You could look up on those great teams, 5, 6, 7 losses a year to crap teams. Like, it happens. We get it. Why? I just don't understand why it's happening so consistently. And I'm not asking you to answer that. I'm just saying that's where my frustration personally comes from, is like, dude, I can't trust this team to win, and I can't trust them not to lose. Like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen with this team.
I think the reality is, like, to me, there's a lot of things that have kind of shifted with this team this year, and I'd prefer them to figure it out right now instead of the second half of the season, or to be dealing with the struggles in the second half of the season. If we look at it logistically, Keegan Murray has come into this year. He's been playing much better defense. He's someone they rely on, and his offense has been hot or cold. Like, it's terrible to look at a stat sheet at the end of a game, and we had that happen in Portland, where DeMontis Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox combined for 70 plus points, and nobody else is in double figures, right? Yeah. To me, we've had multiple people struggle offensively, and I truly believe those struggles are because of what they're being asked to do on the defensive end. Mike Brown couldn't ask them to do these things last year. It was his first year. He's implementing a new system, a new offense. He's trying to figure out his team, the players. We know Mike Brown. He is not new to the league. He's a defensive-minded coach, but you have to coach the personnel that you have. So when he came into the team last year, it's like, listen, like, I've got to make this offense high-powered, play to the style and abilities of the players. Now he knows the players. You're not going to do defense and offense in 1 year, right? Players know the system. He's added a few tweaks to it offensively. You have to, because teams have caught on. They know things. Now you have to do the counter to that and add some tweaks so that you can still have the advantage offensively. But you're also asking them to do a lot more defensively, because you went to the playoffs and you lost in the first round because you couldn't defend anybody. So there's early seasons. You don't snap your fingers and this stuff happens. You don't make a player a defensive player after 30 games. Like, there's a process to it. And I think he's still figuring, there's some new pieces. Chris Duarte is a new piece. I think he's still figuring out, what does he have? What is the right balance of offense and defense, and how can they make this team be good at both at the same time, not a defensive lineup and an offensive lineup. So I would prefer them get this figured out now, right? Have some losses that hurt and sting than to lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. You know, so is this like a caterpillar or butterfly thing, kind of, where, because we have talked about this earlier, where like I thought, and I think a lot of other people thought, that the best performance of the year, most complete performance of the year, was against Memphis, which is another reason why this loss is pissing me off, because that was like offensively, defensively. You look at their defense in the second half against Atlanta. In both cases, they were held to what, like 40 something, and I think 39 in Memphis. Like that Memphis game, everybody was healthy for Memphis. John Morant was there, and they absolutely boat raced them and played amazing defense. And then you come into this game, and you have this inconsistency. So what I'm trying to take from what you're saying, which I think is important, is because we've talked about this on the show, is the whole caterpillar into a butterfly thing that Mike Brown seemingly is not purposefully, but sacrificing some stuff here right now for the long term, which is being a team that can shut down defensively other teams in the playoffs and pick up on what they couldn't do last year.
I think that's a good analogy. I do want to point out, like, John Morant was back, but Memphis wasn't even close to healthy. They're playing without Steven Adams, which I think is the person that makes the difference on that team, from them being the number 2 team in the West last year to being what they kind of are this year, despite kind of, they're bottom of the barrel. Memphis is a team you don't really know. They're playing without Brandon Clark as well, who's very important for them. Memphis is a team that you can't even look at their record or their standing, their place in the standings, and know what they are, because they've been without John Morant for 25 games. But Jaw's back, so I think a lot of people look at it as like, well, now they're full strength. That also was a game that the Kings should have gone in there and beat them. And they did. They did that. But, then they come home and they have a game like this to Charlotte. And, they had an 11-game losing streak. Listen, I understand. I know. I look at the things and it's like, wow, this one, it sucks. Like, they should have taken care of business, like, I get it. But I'm also not going to get caught up in the fury, if you will. Because what I see with this team is, like, they're trying to make the right changes to be a better team in the postseason. And I really believe that. And so I hang on to that.
Well, that doesn't help my narrative when it comes to wanting to have a wine fest this morning.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'll let you guys continue having the wine fest, and I'm going to go make my daughter breakfast.
All right, go make your daughter breakfast.
I'm actually surprised that she hasn't come in here once during this interview. So,
well, try to be consistent on the breakfast, and if you don't make a good breakfast, then pick up some lessons from today's bad breakfast and improve in your next breakfast. Okay.
Oh my gosh! All right, guys.
No wine.
Okay. All right.
Talk to you later.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you, Katie. Bye-bye. I didn't expect that. I'm not going to lie. No, I'm not setting up my read. I mean, really, I did. Katie wasn't screwing around this morning. I wanted to screw around a little bit because I thought she would. That's generally what she does. And again, I asked her point blank a couple times, Jason, are you frustrated? She's like, no, I'm not saying she in any way talked me down, but I will say I appreciate the outlook that, and a lot of it is because we've gone down this road earlier. I'm not excusing what happened last night, because there is no excuse for it. But I do appreciate the road of, are you making these crazy hard, is the reason why so much of this is unexplainable, that Mike Brown is trying to play chess and not checkers. And is he trying to lay in some lessons now and some habits now, which they completely crapped the bed defensively last night after doing so well against Memphis? Is this, we've talked about body blows in boxing before and how they pay off in the championship rounds.
Yeah.
In some weird way, are these those body blows? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to excuse it, but is that the reality? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I know.
and I think we say this a lot, like you can't tell a fan how to fan. And so some are going to be over the top. Some are going to say it's no big deal. I'm probably more on the optimistic side. Generally, I thought the Kings were awful. And I don't know of what net win there was from that performance last night for the long term. I just don't see it in front of me. Doesn't mean there isn't something hidden in there that could be. I think all the principles that they're trying to teach, I'm sure defensively that were in play in other games where they've been better defensively or worse. I don't understand the turnovers. I agree with some of the stuff Katie said. Like, they were off. There was a bunch of that, but I didn't think they played a smart game. I think they played with fire all night long. I think they thought they could just turn it on, even if it was for 5 minutes and win. They never turned it on, and they played with fire. I thought they deserved everything they got last night.
Yeah,
and if that's a meaningless coach player spat in there, or maybe a bigger deal in there, they deserve that. If it's Sabonis and all his offensive fouls and his turnovers, I mean, they asked for it, and I just didn't think they played a smart game. They're better than that, but not last night. And so when you play with fire like that to a team that's not very good, and if it was a good team, I think it would have been a night. Well, we're talking about a 30 point loss, but they played the perfect team to escape. They just didn't escape, and they deserve the loss.
Well, they better bring the energy tonight, because Orlando's coming into town off a back-to-back, which, as we know, if a team is coming off a back-to-back, they're almost certainly going to beat the Kings, especially at home. Orlando's coming in off a back-to-back. The Kings better bring energy tonight, or they're going to get boat raced. My suggestion, maybe they call our friends in American Energy Heating and Air, where right now, $0. $0 gets you an HVAC diagnostic. American Energy will come in. They'll test your system, their connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure everything is functioning properly. This is American Energy, the same group of folks that have been around since 1981 that I love talking to you about. The same ones that have an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. The same ones that rely on referrals and on repeat business on all of you. And how do you get that? You perform well. You don't just take the check and run. They can ensure that not only is your system safe and ready to go, but those bills get a little bit lower too. And you can't beat $0. This is normally $99. There will come a time this year where I'm pitching you on a $99 diagnostic. That's $0. Can't beat that. Easy, convenient payment options for those big purchases, same as cash, low monthly payments through their financing partners. Call American Energy Heating and Air, serving the greater Sacramento area at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990, or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy. Hey, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Let's get some post-game reaction. We got sound for you coming up next. Or are we going to do, no, we'll do 4 down territory, guys. Let's do that. My apologies, because we went long with Katie. 4 down territory, 4 questions, 4 answers. We'll do that right after this.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every...
No, not just that you didn't get angry, but because, what I'm saying, not necessarily because of that. Like, it was funny because the way the show had worked out, and I made a comment earlier, I was like, I'm sick today, these can come on, you don't need to blah, blah, blah. And then you came on, and it turned out, and then it turned into what I think was a really emotional
black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Well, there's nothing scarier in the radio world than having an open mic. And during a break, I guess I had my mic on. Chris must have been doing something, not that it's his responsibility. So a lot of our YouTube chat got to hear my post segment call. Generally, I'll talk to Katie after our interviews during the break, and that's actually a call I would have put on the air. To be honest, I don't think I said any bad words, but I don't mind, and I don't mind sharing it for on air thing. That's one of my favorite segments we've done with Katie. And all jokes aside, everyone knows I love Katie and to all ends and bounds, which is why we mess with each other a lot, Jason. But I wanted to go one way with her, which generally Katie will come in and be the voice of reason and lay stuff out. And sometimes I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear excuses. They're excuses, and they're I don't want to hear any of that. But I could tell she was in no screw around mode this morning. And whether, she says it's not frustration, maybe it's just focus, whatever it is for her. But you do get a bit of the ex-player out of her in those situations. WNBA, NBA, doesn't matter. You're a professional athlete. You do this for a living on whatever level. And sometimes I think with the WNBAers, it's even, it's even more pronounced because you can't use the whole like, oh well, they're rich, they're making 30 million. These are people that are living day to day, contract to contract, trying to make a living and feed their families literally out of this. And she understands the pressure. She understands, like she said, she played in some stinkers, and I don't think she was offering excuses this morning. I think she was offering reasons, and I really liked the way she went. She might be wrong. She'd be the first to tell you that she might be wrong about the whole what Mike Brown's trying to do, but I don't discount the logic behind could a loss like last night, as frustrating and as bad as it was, and as much as we are in a no excuse zone. There's no excuse for it. There's no reason to not be frustrated with it, but could a loss like last night and the loss to Portland and the no-show against the Celtics and all that stuff, could that flip into something where it hardens this team? They figure out those deficiencies, whether it's through mental, whether it's rotational, whether it's Monty McNair crew doing a shuffle. And is this really, like they say, the laws and sausages, no one likes to see them made? Is this something that could pay dividends when it counts, and better to do it now than at the end of the year? And I'm not immune to the logic there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all of that is possible for sure. And it's interesting, I think, coming from Katie being a former player, like some people were commenting on social media last night. De'Aaron's response was, I don't know, maybe too casual, but we've seen that. Like, there's been games where maybe Kings fans or any fan of any team that had the season-ending loss where it gets you so emotional you cry, or whatever emotions you take out of it. And then sometimes you see the players out on the field or on the court or whatever it might be, whatever sport it is, and they're shaking hands, maybe even laughing, exchanging jerseys. You're like, wait, this isn't gutting you like it's gutting me. And you can't, it doesn't always work exactly that way. So players, I think, have to program themselves a little bit to move on, even if fans maybe aren't ready to move on.
Yeah, I think so. And do we have the audio, Jason, of that per se? Do we have the De'Aaron Fox post game? I think maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
And I'll set it up while you're looking. You kind of did already, but
yeah,
this is De'Aaron Fox after the game. He was Jason's got it. He was talking about or asked, I think, hey, is this something that's going to stick with you for a while?
Oh, I mean, it's funny because I was telling them, like, obviously, I don't think we've had one of those bad just stretches of games, but at the end of the day, you soak in a loss like this, and it can pile on to 6 losses in a row. So, for me personally, when I walk out this building, I'm not thinking about this game again. So, I think it's to each their own on a subject like that. But for me personally, once I walk out of here, I mean, we have another game tomorrow. We're playing against a good Orlando team. So, what am I thinking about this game for?
And I saw the reaction to those comments, and it's kind of a second cousin to when you see like it's a tough game against a tough opponent and you lose, and then everyone's like smiling and handshaking afterwards, and people go, "Oh, you shouldn't." I'm tired of people being friends. That's just the reality of the NBA. These people are professionals. It's not that they don't care, but this is partially their job. And you go in. It's like when you see two fighters go at it, and almost always at the end, the lead up to it, this guy sucks. He's a bum. I'm going to knock him out. And then they fight. And then afterwards, they, like a couple of gladiators, respect, hug, this, that, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. And look, if De'Aaron Fox wants to move on from that game last night and move into tonight, you got to respect that, because obviously De'Aaron knows what the hell he's doing. That being said, Jason, and I don't want to call De'Aaron a liar or anything or put words in his mouth, but you got to wonder too if there's like a cumulative of these. Like he's going to forget about last night, but like at the same time, like it builds up into this like motivational anger, and I'm here for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect De'Aaron Fox to go home and think about the game all night long and watch film immediately and like, all right, what we want, I think, as fans in general is, okay, to avoid this from happening again. And so some people logically go, I hope they all went to the gym and worked out. Like, that's also not the best idea either. I mean, it's just, you just want to avoid it from happening again. I don't know how you do that besides win every time you play a team you think you're supposed to beat. So a lot of the stuff that they did last night did seem like they were off, but if there's stuff that can be corrected, they need to correct it. That's for sure.
We will take a break here, I believe. Are we taking a break here? Yeah, we're taking a break here. When we come back, well, now I'm being screwy here, Jason. I totally blew through that segment, didn't I?
Yeah, we can get back on track and do who's hot, who's not. We can save 4 down for tomorrow.
You want to flip 4 down to tomorrow? Okay,
sure.
Let's do that. Bad hosting on my part. Who's hot, who's not, and then we'll recap the 3 in the key for the Kings and Hornets last night. It's Dave, it's Jason, it's Chris Verlade right here on Sactown.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Who is hot?
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
She hit the game winner for Iowa's 76-73 win over Michigan State. Scored 8 3-pointers and finished with 40 points on the night.
Woo.
It is her 4th game in a row scoring 35 points or more and ties a record by any woman D1 player to do that over the last 25 seasons.
That was insane. That was an insane performance. And I don't know, not that she was wide open, but that last shot, which was a good, that was a foot.
She was wide open because she was at half court.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, she was way back there, but it's almost like at that point you got to cover her in the locker room, much less anywhere near the ability to score, because she can score from anywhere. And just to hit that. And then it's funny. Did you notice on the celebration, as caught my eye, she like went right over to the edge of the bench, the stands and all that. And I was like, how long is it going to take for everyone to mob her? But they must all, it like took a while for her teammates to catch up and mob her. And then they finally did. That was insane.
Yeah, she ran so far, she was by herself. Then she's like clapping. I'm like, wait, did everybody go the other way?
Right. She's going to be, man, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. The WNBA is in really, really good hands. She's going to be fun to watch. All right. Who's not?
The Sacramento Kings. But not because of last night, because of tonight.
What?
Sacramento Kings are playing the Orlando Magic tonight after playing the Hornets last night. This will be their 5th back-to-back of the season. They are currently winless with a 0-4 record on back-to-backs.
Well, always time to change that.
Yeah.
Right?
Can. Like they hadn't lost the front end of a back-to-back until last night.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Should we try something different today? By the way, the Kings are favored by 4.5. Should we try something different today, guys? Do we try to be positive about tonight just to kind of mix it up?
I think that's a little too positive about last night.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the right outlook, Jason? What do we do?
Punt on 3rd down.
Just go for 2 when you're down. When you're down 1 and you just scored a touchdown from the 35.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
That's the
We got a
approach.
3 in the key from last night, I believe.
We do. I wonder how we did.
I wonder how we did too, John Tag. Take it away, Jason Ross. Take it away. 3 in the key. Hornets.
All right. Obviously, we were all pretty confident last night because I asked who would have the last Kings basket. Dave, you said Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
I said JaVale McGee. Chris said Juan Toscano Anderson. And the correct answer, putting the Kings up 104-101, their last points of the night with 1:34 to go, was De'Aaron Fox.
We were all confident. We all had garbage timings.
Outscored 10-0 in the final 94 seconds.
It's not good.
All right. We also asked made 3-pointers by De'Aaron Fox, who'd been really hot beyond the arc, and assists by Malik Monk, kind of a combo question. Davey said 5 and 5. I said 4 threes for Fox with 7 assists for Monk. Chris said 3 and 5. And the correct was Fox made 3 and Malik Monk only had 2 assists.
What was that, Chris?
Let's see. Yeah, Chris is the closest.
All right.
And lastly, the random stat. Something we predicted that would happen in the game. Dave, you started with Mike Brown would lose a challenge. You then corrected that to crumble cookies will be had. And it did not happen. There were a couple opportunities where Charlotte missed the first free throw, but made the second. So
come on, Charlotte.
No crumble cookies. I said the Kings would trail at some point by double figures. Well, the final score was the largest lead for Charlotte, which was not quite 10, but it was 7. And Chris said Sabonis would have a first half double-double. He ended with, at the half, 13 points, 9 rebounds.
Oh.
1 assist.
So close.
So close.
So basically, we didn't get anything right.
Not really. We were a lot like the Kings. We were in a fog. We were off. We didn't take our opponent seriously. All of that. We got yelled at by our coach. We yelled back at our coach.
Yeah. That would have been a random stat. Monk and I got to add that in. Monk and Brown get into it.
Okay.
Got to add that one.
Will it be tonight when we do that a little bit later for tonight's 3 in the key?
Yeah. Miguel Fregosa is going to join us in 10 minutes, and we'll flip it up here. We've been really, really heavy Sacramento Kings today. Heavy. We'll go to a meal at 9 to mix it up with a little Niners at 9, and then we'll get into previewing the Kings in Orlando. The Magic did lose last night in San Francisco, and as Chris mentioned, Kings not good on the second night of a back-to-back. How many is this? Is this their second at home? I feel like they haven't had. I don't remember any home and home back-to-backs.
Yeah, I think this is the second one.
I mean, I'd like to say we're going to learn a lot about the team tonight, but I'm also forced to go, well, hold on. But what if they, okay, so if they lose tonight, what? Is that like, is the season over? Like, that's kind of where we're at right now. Like,
the previous home back-to-back, Dave, was the thrilling Malik Monk game winner rally from 24 down to beat the Warriors in the group stage. The very next night, the Clippers were here, and the Kings lost by 14.
Well, this is a little bit different. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say that last night's game. In fact, if anything, it was a lack of emotion.
Yeah, found another one. Sorry, this is the third one.
Oh,
at home. Friday, December 22nd, beat Phoenix by 15 at home. Very next night, Timberwolves in the building.
Oh,
and Minnesota won that one 110-98.
Oh, that's right. That just happened.
Yeah.
Well,
this is a little different.
This is a little bit different. I would say you're going from a team. You got the loss out of the way in the first half. There you go. It's the first home and home back-to-back in which they won the first.
Yeah.
Right? Or lost the first, excuse me, not won the first.
You realize so it's Orlando, Toronto, New Orleans, this homestand.
Yeah.
After that, man, I didn't realize what was coming up. 5 game road trip, then 2 at home, and then the 7-game road trip. So 12 of 14 on the road.
Yeah.
Basically all of January, early February, they're away from Sacramento.
Daddy no likey. I mean, you gotta figure something. That's where we're going with this. Is that they'll? I mean, it's more frustrating, and it makes me angrier as a fan to lose games to teams that you're much better than. But I would also rather be in a position where there are so many teams that my team is better than.
Yeah.
Rather than the whole, well, we're not better than almost every team, so therefore I don't have. It's like it's a good frustration, I guess, because it's coming from a place of where this team is incredibly talented.
Yeah, so let's keep the team with the same record at 19-13, but I swapped out last night as a win, Portland as a win. So 2 that you would characterize as you believe they should win. I think everybody believed they should win. I hope they believe they should win. Circumstances were against Portland and Charlotte. Kings lost both those games. And I take out one of the OKC wins and the Denver win. So you have the same record, and you could probably argue, look, you beat everybody you're supposed to, for the most part. Would you be better with the team, or do you like the fact that they've also beaten some pretty good teams?
I'd rather have the wins against the good teams because that speaks to ceiling.
Okay.
But it would be less confounding. Like we'd be sitting here and we'd be saying, well, okay, I mean, they're a notch below elite. They beat the teams they're supposed to. But when they get against the big boys, they have an issue. Well,
yeah,
we don't have that ceiling. They've shown that they can hang with pretty much any team in the NBA and beat them.
Yeah, I think overall, because look, we just did the bingo card thing and we didn't want to say this answer, but I do believe things like last night happened to every team. I hate it. I hate it. But I think, to me, in all honesty, Dave, the bigger issue for me in the 32 games, in the 13 losses, is how badly they've lost to teams. And so, like, to me, I think point differential is over 82 is a really good indication of the kind of team you are. And for a lot of this season, it's been really close to 0 or negative for the Kings, even with a winning record. And that's bothered me because, again, generally you can have a winning record, but if you aren't beating teams by more consistently, it feels like it's a little bit of fool's gold. So that part is concerning me. I don't love last night at all. I hated it. I didn't like the Portland loss, but the amount of times they've been blown out, that to me has bothered me.
Well, and everything points to tonight. Again, you just don't know. But everything points to they're going to show up, and we're going to be sitting here tomorrow saying, gosh, if only that team had shown up against Charlotte.
Yeah. It's just not the way it works, unfortunately, because you're right. I mean, it's matchups. You just play what? Maybe the shots go in from the get-go. I don't know. It's one thing we can't explain, but yeah, if they don't play better than they did last night, for sure they'll lose. But I can picture that's the problem. Like they could play better tonight and still end up with a loss.
Well, we will have much more on that. We will preview tonight's game against Orlando at 9:13. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break. Coming up next, Emil Fragoso, Sactown Sports 49ers insider. We will switch gears for the first time today, talk a little bit of football, then right back to the Sacramento Kings right here in your home of the Kings and Niners, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear, find the best destinations, learn from the experts in fishing and hunting. On the weekend, visit the Giant Youth Fair, free entry for youth 15 and under. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Yep. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Final hour of the program. Crosstalk with Styles and Watkins coming up at the end of the show, along with celebrity birthdays. Also, we will preview tonight's Kings Magic game. Will the Kings bounce back? Also, side note, Jason, I don't anticipate this as I look up at the sky and let me see if I can do this here. Hi, Emil. We'll get to you in a second here. Let me see if I can do this. As I point up. All right, can you see like the blue sky above me? I don't know. I know there's a delay.
Yes.
Okay. And then if I put this back here, like you can see threatening skies behind me.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
There must be a wind or something because I got like nothing but blue sky above me, which I think is a song. Yet I'm noticing raindrops falling down on my computer. So if for some reason I get some weird desert monsoon, I'm gonna have to shift on the fly here. There's no rainy faces on my iPhone weather either, so this might be coming out of the blue. So it might be Emil and Jason at some point.
Thanks for the update, Dirk Verdorn.
Hey,
I thought it never rains in Southern California.
That's what I'm saying, man. They take all our water anyway.
It rains in the desert, though. That's for sure.
Yes, it does. And that is the voice of Emil Fregoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider. Hey, Emil, good morning. How are you?
I'm better if the Kings won last night. I watched that whole game thinking they were going to win, and it was unnecessarily close the whole time. And then they, choke at the end, and now upset.
Well, thanks a lot, Emil.
Yeah,
we're all set to switch to Niners, who won last weekend, and now you got us back in the dumps. I will say this: the 49ers did do their job. They did clinch the number one seed throughout the NFC portion of the playoffs. Let's start with this. What do you, or as I go get a T-shirt to cover my board here from Raindrops, what do you or don't you know that you can tell us injury update wise?
Yeah. So going into this week, week 18, the Niners did accomplish two things from week 17 on New Year's Eve. One, beat the Commanders and kept the number one seed. And two, they got to watch the Arizona Cardinals defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in the locker room and celebrate clinching the number one seed. So what does that do for the Niners? They're going into week 18 playing a pretty much meaningless game against the Rams, who have already clinched a playoff spot. So does that mean starters are going to be absent? Only the starters that are banged up. So Christian McCaffrey, who has a mild calf strain, he will not play. Ambry Thomas, who is getting surgery on his broken hand today, or yesterday, I believe, he is not going to play. Eric Armstead, who's been out for multiple weeks with plantar fasciitis, he is not going to play. So all the guys who are banged up right now are not going to feature. But Deebo Samuel did say yesterday on the Kay Adams Up and Adams show that starters are going to start in some capacity, kind of like a preseason game where they play the first half and then the bench comes in for the rest of the game.
And obviously some of that, I think Kyle Shanahan even said that the other day, Emil, that, look, I can't rest everybody. We don't have enough on the roster, but you also to get, if you get some reps this week, we know they're off the following week. I don't know that they want like 3 complete weeks off away from playing competitive football.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. And that's what Deebo was saying, is that you want to still have that groove, but your body needs the rest. And so that's like really that fine line of like, how much do we need to play in week 18 to go into the first week of the playoffs on a bye and still feel good about what we're doing? They're going to treat this week as a normal week. They're going to practice as hard as they usually do. It's just when it comes to game day, some players are going to rest. Some players are going to play a little bit. Some players aren't going to play at all. And that's the reality situation, because at the end of the day, the Niners do not play a meaningful football game for a little less than 3 weeks' time. They don't play another really big, important game until the NFC divisional round, which is round 2 of the postseason, where they could see a team like the Buccaneers, Philadelphia Eagles, the Los Angeles Rams, potentially, who knows? That's what they're playing for now, of like, we have to get every single important player healthy going into the postseason, and this allows us to get more opportunities and more reps for our depth guys to figure out our rotation going into the postseason.
Emil Fregoso joining us. Emil, we've been asking this question all week long of ourselves. Matt Barrows came on. We talked about it with him, Sean Salisbury, and it's something we've mentioned throughout the year. But your take, are the Niners maybe the one team in the NFL that anything less than a championship is an abject failure? Like, there's no bright side. If they lose in the Super Bowl, it's a failure.
I think maybe the Ravens as well are kind of in that spot too. It's because of how well they played this season, especially going into the last half of the month, coming off the Miami game where they crushed the Dolphins on the road. Those are the two best teams in the NFL. So right now it comes down to championship for both of these teams, because Lamar Jackson hasn't been healthy going into the postseason for many, many years. He's as healthy as he's been. Same with the Ravens roster, despite not having Mark Andrews. They're very, very healthy. And same with the Niners. Even though they're banged up right now, they're probably the healthiest they've been going into the postseason. Yes, they are without Jair Brown currently. They're also without Talanoa Hufanga for the rest of the year. George Odom trying to make a comeback. They have some depth issues for sure. But in terms of their core stars, the Niners are relatively healthy going into the postseason, and now having another week off, it's really championship or bust. They haven't been the number one seed for a very long time. This is their window. They are 2 wins away from the Super Bowl. If it's not this year, what year is it going to be? So there is a real sense of urgency of like, this has to be the year we get this done.
Emil, last game, based on, McCaffrey was doing fine, but then he left the game and they left him out precautionary reasons. As you said, he won't play week 18, but we did see Elijah Mitchell run the ball well. If everything is right and everybody's healthy playoff time, obviously it's McCaffrey's, team to carry the load, but that's a team that still likes to run. Do you think we see Mitchell in more of a spot role as well, based on how well he ran last game?
I think absolutely you do going into the playoffs. If Elijah Mitchell finishes the game with 17 carries, 80 yards, he was the most electric and most efficient running the football that he's been in 2 years. And he's been hobbled with MCL sprains and knee injuries for many, many years, including this season, in and out of the lineup because of knee irritation. So just to see him come back and be as effective as he is, such a welcome luxury for the Niners going into the postseason, that they can give McCaffrey that rest in between series and allow Mitchell to do his job and turn out those really hard 4 or 5 yard carries. And then also Jordan Mason, get him involved. He was used as a kick returner. I think that's a really good spot for him going forward. With Ray McLeod potentially coming back this week from a rib injury, and I do think that allowing the depth players to get more involved is going to help this Niners team stay healthy going forward, because they can't just rely on McCaffrey to do everything. They can't rely on Debo to do everything. It got to be team complementary football, and that goes for every single player on that roster. They get a great carry here. They get a great carry here from this guy. That's going to help all the stars do better, because then there's the defenses are thinking more about who do we cover here? Who do we cover here? And that allows more leaks and holes for every single player.
Emil, now that Lamar Jackson is going to win the MVP and we can dispense of that talk.
Yeah.
In some ways, Brock Purdy he didn't seem affected by it, but do you think maybe it's just a little bit of a weight off where he can just play now? And maybe, who knows, silently to himself, maybe play with a little chip on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Brock Purdy loves playing with the chip on his shoulder, doesn't he? He really bounces back from a bad game. And Week 17 was really that. Yes, the stats weren't amazing for Brock Purdy against the Washington Commanders, only thrown for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he was effective. He was efficient. And the throws he did make were on the money. That dart downfield along the right hash to Brandon Ayuk, cross hash throw to Ayuk as well, and then moving Ayuk over into the end zone and get that touchdown. Those are the plays that make Brock Purdy so special. He's able to operate out of that offense and operate it to a T because of how intelligent he is and how he understands the defense and is able to read it and just buy time with his legs. We don't talk about that enough with Brock Purdy. He's so great at scrambling out of the pocket and buying time with his legs and finding the open receiver and directing traffic. That's a hard thing to do for a 24-year-old quarterback new into this league, still trying to figure everything out. And he does it so well. And I think, yes, the MVP would have been great, but Brock Purdy has always talked about this is a team sport. The ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's our goal. The MVP is whatever to me. That'd be really cool. Grew up as a kid, always wanted to win it. But if I can lead this Niners team to success and be the guy that helps his team win a Super Bowl, that's going to be the biggest accomplishment for all of us here. So, yes, it'd been great if Brock Purdy was the MVP. He's not likely going to be that now, and that's a huge weight off his shoulders because he gets to play as what? The underdog. And Brock Purdy always plays better as the underdog.
Emil, 6 teams still available in the NFC for the 2 spots. We obviously still need to get a division winner for the NFC South and then that final wild card berth. The Niners would never say it publicly, but do you get a feel of who they would prefer to play the most in that what would be their first round 2?
I don't have a feel personally from them. If I were the Niners, I would want to play to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are the 5 seed, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are the 4 seed. Those are the 2 teams I would not be as worrisome because the Niners handled them so well this year. They were very effective against the Eagles on the road in Philadelphia, and then Tampa Bay came to them in Week 11, and they took care of them 27-14. Those are the 2 teams that wouldn't scare me the most. If I'm the Niners, though, you know how this is going to go out. The Rams are going to end up playing the Lions week 1, the wild card weekend. It's going to be Matthew Stafford against his old team. He's going to end up doing well and winning that game, and that's going to be Niners, Rams in the divisional round. We're going to have one of those scrappy games again. That's how this is probably going to end up happening.
The Eagles don't scare you? They scare me.
They do?
Yeah, they do. I know because, hey, listen, man, there ain't nothing more dangerous than a cornered animal. We know those Eagles. First off, they're the defending NFC champion. Secondly, they got a whole bag of ruffles on their shoulder. I completely understand how they've looked like to end the year, but I also worry about the whole really good, consistently good teams tend to get bored in the regular season and then latch it on. I just feel like the Ravens and the Eagles may be the only 2 teams in the NFL that, if they're playing at their best, have a shot, and in the Ravens' case, can beat the Niners. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know what? I'll throw out another name that I am more afraid of than the Eagles. I'm more afraid of the Cleveland Browns for the Niners than the Eagles. The Cleveland Browns are rolling right now. They are a complete football team, and that's the teams that have beaten the Niners this year. Complete football teams that out physical you. The Ravens out physical the Niners on Christmas Day. The Browns out physical them on the road in a tough weather game. The Eagles, they're not the same team they were last year. Losing Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator, and then losing Shane Steichen, their offensive coordinator, completely changed the dynamic of this roster. And now they're falling apart. I don't know if you're hearing reports out of Philadelphia right now, and at the center of it is A.J. Brown, who is tearing this locker room apart currently right now. And that is not the sign you want for the Philadelphia Eagles going into the postseason, which is why for the Niners, you'd much rather want to play a team that's in shambles than a team that's more put together like the Ravens, the Browns, even the Rams, who have been consistent for multiple weeks now playing against Matthew Stafford, who is a Super Bowl champion. The Eagles haven't won anything yet. So there is that chip on that shoulder of they were the NFC champions. They were in the Super Bowl last year, but they're not the same team as last year.
How about the Cowboys if they had to face them? And, if the Cowboys stay the 2 seed, that wouldn't be till the NFC championship game. Any reservations with the matchup with them?
I mean, yeah, there's always going to be those reservations. It's Niners, Dallas, but the Niners really get up for that game, and I think they're not as scared of them as they were in years past where there was more pedigree. I do think that Dak has been fantastic this year, obviously coming off of that weird Lions game, the controversy. No one feels great about that. I think Dallas is a really good team, and they're really complete as well. I just kind of think the Niners kind of have their number and know what to expect with them because they've seen them so many times. They know who's on that roster. They know how to play against Dak. And I think that with Mike McCarthy, a head coach, I think Kyle Shanahan can outcoach Mike McCarthy. And that's kind of what it comes down to in the end, is that Kyle's a better offensive play caller and a better just overall coach than McCarthy. And they kind of have their number right now.
How we feel about Kyle not being able to come back in the 4th? Is that just one of those numbers?
That's the worry. Right?
Is that a thing? Is that a thing, or is it one of those most teams don't come back in the 4th, or is that actually a thing?
I mean, 0-38 when trailing by 8 or more points at the end of the 4th quarter. I'm just saying. That's a real thing. Look, the Niners are great when they're up. They struggle when they're down. Is that going to be an issue going forward? We'll see. The Niners' formula of success, and it happened against Washington. Run the dang football. Run the football. Control the clock. Play your game. That's all they got to do. If they play Niners football, no team is beating them in the NFC because they are just too complete, too good on the offensive line. They're too put together with their play callers, and they have a signal caller in Brock Purdy who understands the offense better than any other quarterback Kyle Shanahan has ever had. And that's the reality right now, is that this team is so complete they can just get out of their own way. They're going to go right to the Super Bowl probably.
And in a way, it was Jimmy Garoppolo, sweat and blood, paving the way for Brock Purdy to shine today.
Pretty much, yeah. You know, Jimmy walks so Brock could run, I guess, in this offense.
All right. You can check out all of Emil's work along with everybody else at SactownSports.com. Your home of the San Francisco 49ers, your home of your San Francisco 49er insiders. We're hoping to have some pretty cool announcements coming up here soon regarding the Super Bowl run and our coverage for you as it's down in Las Vegas. Couldn't it be anywhere else? Nope. It's going to be in Las Vegas. So, Emil, appreciate you, buddy. Hopefully we're talking after another win to keep this ball rolling. And before you know it, we got playoff football, dude.
Best time of the year, isn't it?
Sure is. All right, we'll take a break. That's Emil Fragoso. He's not a snack. He's Emil, giving you all kinds of coverage. When we come back, Kings Orlando. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll preview tonight's game right after this.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. I am last day here in Southern California. We'll be back in studio tomorrow for one day only with Jason Ross and Christopher Lawn. We'll all hang out. It's the first show of the year, and we're all going to be together. And then Jason takes the reins from Friday through the following week. I will be in Europe back the following week, the 15th? And we'll be at full strength, ready to go as we come down the stretch of the NBA season, the NFL playoffs, and then it'll be 110 degrees 3 days later. Jason, it's here. It's coming. College football almost over. NFL playoffs, basketball. Here we go. I mean, it's pretty much summer right now, Jason.
Pitchers and catchers have reported.
Ugh, God. Orlando comes into town, speaking of sunny, hot weather, tonight to take on your Sacramento Kings. We, of course, as always, will have all your coverage this evening. Tip-off at 7. Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Go Batase at the center. Wendell Carter Jr. backing him up. Ingles, Isaac, Fultz, all outs. Cole Anthony, Gary Harris backing everyone up, along with Mo Wagner, who got dunked on by Marvin Bagley at the.
Did you see that dunk? Wow.
When Bagley dunked on Mo?
Yeah, quick second jump, too.
That was we say it before, that was the highlight.
He peaked.
There was never more of a peak. Marvin Bagley is going to be an amazing moment in Sacramento than that dunk at the California Classic. And that was
who?
Yeah. If you had taken a poll immediately after that dunk on Mo Wagner, first game, California Classic, wasn't it in like the first 10 minutes?
It was probably. Hey, I'm going to change it to the first play of the game.
And you took a poll right there. Did the Kings make the right pick? I'll bet you 80% would have said yes.
80? It would have been like, when
100.
is Bagley in the Hall of Fame?
And here we are against the Magic, Jason. You know, we try to be logical and go through matchups and stuff. But with this team, like, for example, I keep going back to the Thunder. I thought that the Thunder matchups are terrible for the Kings. And They handled them both times, or at least, won both times, handled them once pretty decently. This is interesting. Suggs and Anthony Black's a guy a lot of people probably don't know much about. And with all the injuries, understandable, this is a guy who's mostly going to be out there, less for his shooting, more for his defense. Jalen Suggs, still a very, very young player, and not the scorer that I think a lot of people thought he would be, although he is still relatively developing. Paolo Banchero, though, he is the meat and the potatoes of that team. 22 points, over 7 boards, almost 5 assists. He is an all-around wonderful player. Franz Wagner is a guy as well coming into his own, 21, 6, and 4, and a very underrated defender, if you will. And then Batadze down low, we talk about it before. We've had this conversation with the centers that ultimately came up in other systems, giving Domantas Sabonis issues. Batadze is certainly one of those guys that could qualify. So it's going to be really interesting to face off against this team tonight.
Yeah, Orlando's been good. I mean, this has been a team that's been on the rise. They've done what you want teams to do that end up in the lottery, is draft well and develop those guys. And I think between Suggs has been the slowest of the developers, but Wagner was a hit, and then Banchero's just a stud, an absolute stud. I think, playing in the summer as well helped him with some of the other great pros that he was with Team USA. And now he's just going off. He had a 40-point game last month, 42, I think. And he's their leading assist guy, and he's their leading scorer, gets rebounds. He's usually close to a double-double. It flirts with triple-doubles. He's in year 2. And every time I think of him, Dave, I think of the first time I saw him in person. We were in Vegas at Summer League, and before the game, Kings are warming up, going on the court, and he comes out, and I was at that time, Bobby Jackson was still an assistant with the Kings, and I was talking to Bobby, and he's like, damn, he just couldn't believe how big Banchero was in person. Just he was, all these guys are massive human beings, but he looked different than everyone else out there. Like, man, this guy is really put together, and he was coming in as a true rookie.
Yes, and sorry if you see me, I'm listening as you if you see me moving around. We're starting to get a little rain, Jason.
Okay.
You still hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to I may sneak in a second, get another blanket. I think I can, unless it starts getting crazy out here. I think I can get by. I just need to cover at some point the rest of my laptop, which is completely exposed right now. I have been broadcasting outside all week. Yeah, I'm not trying to get electrocuted.
Yeah.
You think I get electrocuted if I'm just got the headphones on?
Well, it's either that or the plane, right?
All right, there we go.
If it were to happen today on the show, would we have to come in tomorrow?
Yeah. Chris really wants to know this.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel like you get it. I feel like you get a day off. But then again, if I got electrocuted on the show right now and didn't make it, I don't know. I feel like we'd have a lot more listeners tomorrow. Like, people be tuning in. Like,
yeah, but if we get tomorrow off, then do we come back for a Friday show or?
Well, when do you do the memorial show? Monday? Or or is it not a show? Is it like you just run some? You just run some promos.
I will remember you.
Somebody asked if I have a patio umbrella. I do. Drag over here at some point. Yeah, it's the problem is, Jason. Whatever. This is sports. We're not supposed to be able to predict everything, but I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Because if you told me the Kings were going to lose a stanker by 12, 15, I'm saying, okay. And if you told me the Kings were going to come out and just run Orlando off the floor, I'd say, oh, yeah, okay. I get it. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, Jason.
Yeah, if we go, again, I like to go off players and coaches' words. Like, De'Aaron was a little bit, I comfortable is not the right term, but as we played the cut earlier where he's like, yeah, I'm not going to think much more about this game. And we haven't had a bunch of losses or he said we hadn't had losses in bunches. I mean, I guess he's kind of right. They had the 3-gamer earlier. They've had a couple of 2-game losing streaks. They do generally regroup, but it's hard for me to not just go off the most recent thing we saw.
Yeah.
And so here's why it's so puzzling. The two most recent games are what some have said has been their most complete win. And last night, which I personally think was their worst performance of the year. I thought they were awful. So you've had maybe your best game and your worst game in back-to-back. So, yeah, good luck predicting tonight.
Well, that's why you got to tune in. 7 o'clock tip-off. We got all your pregame for you right here on your home of the incredibly unpredictable Kings, Sactown Sports. We will take a break. When we come back, let's tell you what to watch for. Don't forget, we've got ourselves crosstalk with Styles and Watkins coming up after that, celebrity birthdays and more. So don't go away. Final half hour of the program right here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. People come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
In local sports.
They just make it interesting,
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
On Sactown Sports.
Did some adjustments. I have a giant patio umbrella that is very precariously balanced against a chair. Hey, you can see that a little bit, right, Jason?
Yeah, I can see it.
There you go. Now you can't see it. It's just as it's beginning to rain. I've been broadcasting outside all week long, and finally, in the last hour of the last broadcast down here, starts to befitting our mood, if you will, a little bit based on what the Kings did yesterday. Starting to drip down a little bit, but we won't let that, as Roger Craig used to say, the great Roger Craig, the great late Roger Craig of the Giants. We won't let that get our dauber down, if you will. Jason Ross is. We've got a lot to watch tonight. Heat Lakers, Clippers Suns, Battle of Pacific there. New Orleans goes to Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves. That'll be a very interesting game. Is this right? Are the Bucks Are the Bucks and Pacers playing
again?
Jeez, that just happens to be one of those interesting schedule quirks because they have had themselves quite the little rivalry that has been budding. I want to say this is
the fifth because they got the extra one.
That's
Let me
right. In the play.
Let me double check that.
They beat Milwaukee on the 9th. I'm talking about the Pacers. They beat Milwaukee on the 9th. They beat them December 7th. They lost December 13th. They beat them Monday.
Yeah, so this is the fifth.
Fifth time they play each other. And they will have played them 5 times by January 3rd. And then they will not see each other again until perhaps the playoffs. So that's and that has been kind of a chippy little rivalry, if you will.
I will.
So that's interesting. So that'll be fun to watch a little bit tonight. And of course, Magic and the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings looking to bounce back from the Willoty from last night, the worst loss of the season, worst loss of the year, if you will, against the shorthanded losers of 11 in a row, Charlotte Hornets. And we've got a 3 in the key to predict, I believe, Jason. You know, the show goes on, win or lose. 3 in the key is always going to be there. Fire up the music. Let's get our prediction hats on. I already have mine. And we're off to the races, Jason Ross.
All right, here we go. Dave, last night, Domantas Sabonis had a career high 11 turnovers. So tonight, we are predicting the number of turnovers for Domantas Sabonis.
Give me 3. 3 turnovers. That's 9 less than yesterday. That's pretty good.
3 is 9 less than 11?
Wait, is it? Hold on. No, wait, hold on. Sorry. 3 is
close.
8 less. 8.
We got
less.
there.
Hey. Well, wrong button.
What button were you trying to hit?
I was trying to hit that button. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with 14 less turnovers and give him 4.
4? Wow.
Is that math off? Yeah.
Wow.
4 for Sabonis.
Wow.
He's going to have 15 less with 5.
There we go.
You're
3,
stupid.
4.
That's not even right.
Oh. Last night, the Sacramento Kings went a disappointing 10 of 17 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
New night, new team. No, same team. Dave, Kings free throws tonight, made versus attempted.
Give me 15 of 23.
Okay. I have 16 of 21. Chris?
I'll have 13 of 18.
Okay. And lastly,
sorry, people in the chat, can you please stop calling him Domantas Turnovus? It was one night. Okay, let's just calm down. Back to you.
Domantas Turnovus. Would you accept that as a cheer? I mean, if they all did it, at least you kind of made it
Wouldn't
happen.
you respect it if other teams did it?
Yes.
Like the chant became such a big part of Sacramento that other fans started making fun of it.
By the way, was there any? I didn't catch it. Was there any Domantas chant opportunities last night?
Yeah, I think there was 1 or 2 early that I heard a smattering.
A smattering, if you will.
Yes, I know. Will smattering.
What's next level up from a smattering? 'Cause that's what we need tonight.
A tinge.
So you'd say a tinge is higher than a smattering?
Yeah, it's a skosh higher.
All right, well, that's what we need tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
How about a random stat for tonight?
Random stat for tonight. I'd like to say the Kings will win. Hey, can I say the Kings will win the second game of a back-to-back?
Well, it hasn't happened this year.
That's a random stat. I'm taking it. I don't even care.
Positive, Dave.
Somebody said a stipple. I don't even know. Is that a word? A stipple?
What's that mean?
Like
I've got stipples.
It's like a stipple more than a skosh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with there's going to be a play tonight that's going to end up on Sactown a Fool.
Oh no, JaVale.
Hey, could be Orlando. I left it generic.
Okay.
Sactown a Fool play tonight. Chris?
Keegan Murray will have 2 blocks tonight.
I don't want to jinx nothing here. Anyone else smell a Keegan Murray game tonight?
Anyone else smell what?
A Keegan Murray game, like a bounce back. Like it just feels like that game where Keegan's gonna have a good one.
No, not sure.
I'm just getting matches.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting to.
Wow. Maybe see a doctor. How's the weather up there, by the way? I haven't even asked.
84. No, it's I think we had I know we had rain last night for sure. You know, we have this little sliver of a window. I see some brightness out there.
Okay. How many people were in the building yesterday when you guys got done? Is it still barren?
It was kind of full.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was Tuesday. It was meeting day.
Yeah.
It'll be less full today than it was yesterday. All right. Before we get to crosstalk,
Will it be half full or half empty?
it's great. Well, you know what? Judging by the season, it will be half empty. Don't forget, we have Sam Amick joining us in his normal spot tomorrow at 8. Kelly Brothers back after the holiday at
business
7:27. And we of course have celebrity birthdays and crosstalk coming up next. So Jason, what are you honestly call your shot? What are you expecting tonight out of the Sacramento Kings?
Gosh, I expect which is easy, a much better performance than last night. Just kind of a more complete looking team, a better offensive flow, but I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. Basically, it seems like all the games at home are.
Who's going to be checking Paolo Banchero? Is that Harrison Barnes probably?
Keegan.
Yeah. That would be a fun matchup, honestly.
Keegan and Lyles.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. I was going to ask you because we talked about that earlier, but I think we were going to break. Would you, if you were going to remove Harrison Barnes from the starting lineup, would it be Lyles for you?
Probably.
Yeah. I can't get away from what you said though about Harrison off the bench.
Yeah,
You're right. It does not. Like Harrison doesn't strike me as the spark plug.
Yeah. But I also would have thought about Monk in the starting lineup over Herter, and they went Duarte, which I understand to an extent. But if starts have been your problem, Monk is one of your best players.
Yeah, but is it the Ginobili rule where you know, the thing is, I now Harrison I don't see as a spark.
I don't either.
Herter though, if he was, you know, I think it was Zebra who said it earlier. I like what she said. Maybe we're going to get the inverse Kevin Herter this year, where he kind of stinks it up in the beginning of the year and then finishes on fire.
That'd be great. I mean, he was a bench player at times in Atlanta and was really helpful for them. I mean, he can be. I think he can be productive there.
I agree. I think far more of a potential bench fire plug than a Barnes, which is why I think it would be interesting. You know, ultimately, and maybe this is just always the Disney movie in me, but I like the idea of the Kentucky backcourt. We've never really seen a Fox and Monk backcourt, and that's what they did in Kentucky for those years they played together. I think that would be a blast for the two of them. I think they'd absolutely love it. I just don't know. Again, I understand Mike Brown's point. Okay, you put Monk in the starting lineup, and go from there. And let's say let's go a step further. Let's say you go Fox, Monk, Lyles, Murray, Sabonis. Fine, but that bench, man. Now you need Vezenkov to play probably a lot more minutes too.
Mr. Vezenkov. Really?
Emmy in the chat's getting angry, by the way. She's about ready to stop listening to the show because Vezenkov, not playing Sasha Vezenkov is the reason why they're losing these games, according to some.
Not according to me.
No?
No.
You don't think that's it?
I think that's why they're losing the games. I think he could possibly play and help at times, but yeah, that's not why they're losing.
They're losing because they're not outscoring the other opponent at the end of the fourth quarter.
That's it. Nobody's saying that. Enough of that.
Well, hopefully we get a little bit of that tonight. In fact, I hope we get a lot of it tonight. And, of course, I will be in the air during most of this game. So, of course, they're going to have some amazing thing happen, and I'll have to fake much of it tomorrow as I get home and watch the replay. We'll take a break. When we come back, celebrity birthdays. What day of the week is it nationally? What are we celebrating? And a little bit of crosstalk with Styles and Watkins. We'll do all that and wrap up the program right after this.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than freshly baked and home-delivered crumble cookies.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Wow. That's loud. Loud studio audience tonight. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Christopher. How are both of ye?
Splendid. Outstanding. Dave, did I see your kid at the game yesterday?
No.
No?
Why?
I don't know. I thought I saw him on the big screen.
Down here with me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, unless...
No, I'm just...
Are you certain?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were at the new Hunger Games movie.
Ooh. Looks
good.
good.
Wow.
Dork.
Yeah, I agree. We got a lot to get to today. I will see you guys in person tomorrow. Finally, first time
Really?
here. Yeah, I'll be back in the morning. Today is National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day. Are we in or out on that?
They're fine.
Yeah, in.
More strawberry fan. But yeah.
I always wondered though, you know the chocolate covered cherries, you ever notice there's like some sort of like whitish goo that's in there surrounding the cherry, but in between the cherry and the chocolate? It's not nougat.
That's when you know they're bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tastes fine to me. National Spaghetti Day. We're all in.
Here
on
we
spaghetti.
go.
100%.
Now we're cooking with grease.
You know, I'll tell you something I learned about spaghetti not that long ago. Fun tip for all of you at home. If you don't already do this, is you make the sauce, you make the spaghetti, right? You boil the noodles, right? And then you have the noodles ready to go, and you have a spaghetti sauce ready to go. But here's the third step I learned, which is great. You take a saute pan, turn it on, a little bit of olive oil in there, and then you put the noodles and the sauce in there, and you just saute it for a few minutes, and then put it on your plate. Not only is it all the same temperature, nice and hot, but you don't get that runny, watery spaghetti runoff anymore. It actually cooks into the noodles. Yeah.
That's don't forget to put ketchup in the sauce.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry?
No.
Yeah. It's a thing.
What? You put
In the meat
ketchup in the
sauce.
spaghetti sauce?
That's right.
Ah.
I don't. No, I don't, but people do.
They do?
Oh, you were saying it like you do. Like,
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
forget.
I've had it.
No.
I'm just saying.
Okay, no.
Don't tell my
That's
Nona.
dangerous.
Don't tell my Nona.
Okay. Wait, she puts ketchup in there? Oh, okay.
This sounds like an argument you've had.
Me?
No.
I know
Alan.
people that do it.
Well, I know
It
people
just
who put
adds
ketchup
to
on
the
tacos.
sauce.
Are they real?
Yeah.
Are they real people?
Just adds to the sauce.
And finally, it's National Trivia Day. I got 3 easy trivia questions for the room. Just looked up some easy ones. Gentlemen, what temperature does water boil? Fahrenheit.
212 degrees.
Hey, Christopher Lawn.
212.
What shape is a stop sign?
Hexagon?
Is it octagon or hexagon? Or neither are gone?
I think it's a hexagon. I feel like most people would just say octagon, so I'm going to say hexagon.
All right, so it sounds like we've narrowed down on 2. Let's
Octagon.
check.
It's an octagon?
Okay. Alan's saying octagon. Chris?
Octagon.
Yeah, octagon. It is an octagon. That is absolutely correct. And finally, if an angle is greater than 90 degrees, what do you call it?
Obtuse?
Obtuse.
Yeah, because if it's little or it's so cute. That's how you remember.
Yep. That is true.
How could you be so obtuse?
That's a Shawshank reference, and that's a perfect time to switch to Celebrity Birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Hey, not just for missed free throws. Nothing says family and friends better than Crumble Cookies, although somebody brought up on the chat, I don't know how that would go over, but hey, could we maybe get to a point where Kings fans get Crumble Cookies if the Kings miss 2 free throws?
Yeah.
I feel like that would create a weird moment. Here's a question. If
I might put them out of business.
Here's the thing. This is a great thought exercise. If Kings fans got Crumble Cookies for any 2 missed free throws, and Sabonis misses the first, and you're in the 4th quarter of a tight game, are you getting a decent amount of people that get overrun by their instinct to want free stuff more than the win? Are you getting cheers from the home crowd for DeMontis Sabonis to miss?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then fights are going to break out.
Yep.
Nah.
What you'd have to do is you can't do it the way it's set up now. You would have to maybe, download the app or whatever ahead of time. So it'd be a little bit more subtle. Can't have it as obvious as it is now.
Or how about this? How about this, Crumble? I know you're listening, Crumble, Jonathan Crumble. How about if the Kings make 6 free throws in a row, then we get Crumble cookies?
That's like the Detroit Pistons
They're gonna be
Wingstop.
overstocked,
Yeah.
Tie it into something positive.
Yeah, you'd be safe. I think they'd do that deal.
They'd probably give away less than the opposing team missing 2 in a row. All right, who's old today, Jason?
Happy birthday to Mel
Gibson. Kuiper Jr.
Brooks.
Torme.
Mel Gibson is correct. How old is Mel Gibson today?
Oh, that Mel Gibson.
Would you consider Mel Kiper Jr. a celebrity?
Yeah. I'd have him on here.
Mel's 71 today.
No way.
I'll say 74.
Oh, 75.
Oh, he's like 68.
We have a correct answer, and it's Christopher Laud. He is 68.
Whoa, big Mel fan, actually, right there.
Hey,
huge Mel fan, Christopher Laud.
Happy
That's his
birthday, Michael.
Thomas.
Oh, Michael. Irvin.
Jordan.
Pena.
Michael Schumacher, race car driver.
Mm.
Legendary race car driver.
Of course.
Legendary's doing a lot of work there.
He's the
Mikey
greatest of all time, isn't
Shoes Mikey Shoes is 42.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 45.
48.
47.
Chris Watkins for the win, 55.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on, guys.
Big Formula One guy, Chris
Huge.
Watkins.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Eli.
Manning.
Apple.
Book of.
I don't want to say it.
All right. Eli Manning is the correct answer. How old is Eli Manning today? Cooper's brother.
41.
44, you said? 44, 41.
Strong. 43.
45.
We have a correct answer, and it is Chris Watkins, 43 for Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so we have to go happy birthday, David.
Hasselhoff.
Helen Greer.
Schwimmer.
There was a clue in my Eli Manning, so we have to go happy birthday,
That's right,
David.
Tyree.
Yeah.
David Tyree.
Oh, Manning. David Manning.
How old is David Tyree today?
38.
39.
How old was he then? 37.
41.
Chris for Law with a win, 44 for David Tyree. Happy birthday, Doug.
Christie.
Yeah, I'm going to say Christie as well.
Funny.
Okay. Doug McDermott.
Wow. Dougie McBucket.
Doug Funny.
Oh, I thought you said Doug Funny.
Douglas E. Funny. I know him by his full name.
Dougie McBuckets?
Dougie McBuckets. How old is Doug McDermott today?
On the Spurs. You know that? Who he
Creighton's.
Yeah. Creighton's Doug McDermott.
He's 33.
31.
Yeah, that sounds right. 32.
132, 33.
34.
34. We have a correct answer, and it is Alan Stiles, 32 for Dougie McBuckets.
Young Duggerton.
Happy birthday to, let's see, where are we going to go here? Jim
Palmer.
Leland.
Tom Sula.
Fallon.
Jim Fallon.
Jim E. Fallon.
Former Rams quarterback, was once called
Plunkett,
Chris.
or Everett.
Jim Everett.
Don't call me Chris. Bet you won't do it again.
All right.
Bet you I will.
Chris.
He's 64.
61.
67.
63.
We have another correct answer, and for 2 in a row, Alan Stiles right on the button. 61. Can you go 3 for 3 to close out? Happy birthday, Cheryl.
Crow.
Miller.
Miller.
Miller is the right
she was
response.
she was all over.
How old is Cheryl Miller today?
Ugh.
Be careful.
Daryl's sister.
Pretty sure Cheryl's younger than Reggie.
I'm waiting on Alan.
There's pressure on Alan. Alan's got a lead.
Yeah.
47.
47.
Wrong.
Too low.
Yeah, too low.
Too low.
Great baseball.
56.
Tulowitzki. 53.
62.
Chris Verlaud for the win.
No
60.
way. No way.
Wow.
How old is Reggie?
Old.
Crazy.
58.
What's coming up on the show, guys?
I got to look up Reggie Miller.
Kings talk. You know, we're not going to
Talking about
sit
Kings.
here and we're not going to yell and scream. We're not upset. We're just disappointed.
Wow.
Disappointed.
Kings Roundtable, 12:30.
Strong.
Okay. Well, there you go. For
There you
Katie
have it.
Christensen,
There it is.
for Coach Jim West, for Chris Verlaud, for Jason Ross. I'm Carmichael Dave. Back with y'all tomorrow in studio. Styles and Watkins next. Bye now.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings?